Tonight, here in the state of Ohio, two dual-threat quarterbacks in this Division II matchup. Aurora is led by junior signal caller George Bolus, while Pitt recruit and Mr. Ohio candidate Trevon Chapman will orchestrate the Rough Riders offense. It's third-seeded Aurora's Green Men and the second-seeded Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. It's coming at you right now on Sports Time Ohio. You can feel the excitement building inside Hudson Memorial Stadium. Welcome everybody to this Division II Region 5 football semifinal tonight. A pair of 10-win football teams. The third-seeded Green Men of Aurora tangle with the number 2 seed, the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. With that, we say hi, everybody. Welcome here to Hudson Memorial Stadium. Michael Reghi joined by Ryan Cavanaugh, two outstanding offensive football teams. They had to use both of them fourth-quarter comebacks to arrive at the regional semifinal level with wins last week. Ryan, we start, though, with the football teams because they do it a little bit differently. Kent Roosevelt does it through the air, while Aurora is formidable on the ground.
Yeah, there's no question what these two teams want to do offensively. Roosevelt's going to spread them out, use their talent and speed on the outside, and Aurora goes old school, smash mouth football, use the big guys and their size advantage up front to dominate the line of scrimmage.
You see Aurora that averages 266 yards on the ground, and it's Zach Quinn and Jake McKay, a pair of backs who've totaled 23 TDs between them.
Zach Quinn is the heart and soul of this Aurora team. Defensively, 53 tackles, 4 sacks, but offensively, he's the leading rusher with 815 yards and 13 touchdowns. You'll also see him move to fullback, and in comes Jake McVay. They lose nothing with him in the game behind Quinn. 625 yards rushing and 13 total touchdowns. Aurora's going to count on the 1-2 punch of McVay and Quinn to establish their run game.
Absolutely potent, a big fourth-quarter drive to win it last week. Now, for Kent Roosevelt, it's all about big chunks through the air with a Mr. Ohio quarterback candidate, Trevon Chapman, and the absolutely dynamic wide receiver in Trey Thomas.
Well, Trevon Chapman is as good as I've seen out of a quarterback at this level. He's got the arm strength and accuracy to complete passes sideline to sideline, the touch to go up top, and with his over 600 yards rushing, he accounts for 80% of Kent's offense. But he doesn't do it alone. He's got Trey Thomas, the dynamic wide receiver, over 60 catches, over 1,100 yards and 17 touchdowns. Aurora needs to know where Trey Thomas is on the field at all times, Reg.
Yeah, that they will. Two outstanding, athletically dominant football teams. Bob Mahalik, the head coach of Aurora, and, of course, John Nemec of Kent Roosevelt. First time they've met one another with two playoff-tested football teams. We'll get it kicked off from Hudson in a moment. Tonight's game on Sports Time Ohio is presented by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy sports better only with Time Warner Cable. Also by Marathon, fueling the American spirit. By your Northeast Ohio Ford dealers, and by our friends at Wayside Furniture. Better furniture, priced lower.
At some point, we're going to ask you to make a play. It doesn't have to be every play. 7 make plays on night. Make the right choice, the right football play, and be great. You guys, this is what it's all about. This is what it's time now to be great. Be great on 3. 1, 2, 3. Be great.
Doesn't that get you ready to play? It should here in the month of November. It's playoff time in the Buckeye State. The regional semifinal round is the coaching staff from Kent Roosevelt got things all excited with their football team. Let's get my partner Ryan Cavanaugh to work. Tonight's Keys to the Game, sponsored by Marathon, fueling the American spirit. Where you starting, Ryan?
Well, for Aurora, be the bully. Use your big offensive line up front to push around the smaller Kent Roosevelt and defensively set the edge. Trey Chapman is dangerous when he rolls and he scrambles from passing. Set the edge, keep him in a tight pocket. And for Kent Roosevelt, supporting cast. Offensively, you've got Thomas, you've got Chapman. We need Grow and some of the other receivers to step up. And then safety and numbers. And I'm talking about defense.
Yeah.
You got to get hands on Quinn.
A lot of hats for both football teams defensively. All right, the football gods here in the OHSAA have blessed us with this fabulous Friday night. Tonight's kickoff brought to you by our friends at Time Warner Cable. Joey Melchiori, the number 3 seed, the Aurora Green Men, set to approach. Game on here at Hudson Memorial Stadium as Melchiori will drive it over the head of Trey Thomas. And that will start Trayvon Chapman, one of the finest quarterbacking talents that we have here in the state of Ohio. His numbers, he completes 55% of his throws for over 2,600 yards. You gotta love the 4-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio.
When you throw that much, Reg, that just means he's making good decisions. And that's what you look for in a quarterback of that caliber. He can make the throws, but he's got it upstairs also.
He hit 2 big play home run bombs last week to Trey Thomas after, we'll tell you about that in a moment, as they start out empty and 5 wide against this Aurora D. Chapman will gun that out, and it was dropped in and out of the hands of Trey Thomas.
And that's a perfect pass by Chapman, right where you want on the hitch, outside where only Thomas can get his hands on it. And a storyline we're going to follow throughout this game is the injured shoulder of Trey Thomas. Has a little bit of a problem lifting it up, and that may have affected his catch there.
And as you see on now it'll be the first 2 snaps, and again, this is just a 3-man front. Now the bubble screen again off the hands of normal running back Brandon Groh. Groh not able to haul that in, so Chapman starts 0 for 2, and behind the sticks coming up 3rd and long here in their first possession.
Well, you see what Kent wants to do is complete some short passes, get the confidence of Chapman going early.
8 in coverage for Bob Mahalik and this Aurora Greenman squad. They're only rushing 3. Chapman, seam route. Threw it over the head of his intended receiver. 3 and out for the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt, and they got to punt the football. Interestingly enough, last week trailing 17-7 in the first half. Afterwards, Trayvon Chapman, that young man who wears number 7 for head coach John Nemec, said it was the worst first half individually and collectively he's been associated with since he's been in the Kent Roosevelt program.
Well, that certainly isn't the start they wanted here tonight either.
Jose Roca's first punt of the evening is going to bounce around and settle down without a return at the 39-yard line. So nice operating position for this highly potent Aurora Green Men offensive football team. They average 41 points a game. And Ryan, with George Bolus, the trigger man, this junior, who won the job this year over the senior Alec Wells. This is about a mindset that we're going to drive you off the football, we're going to run the football and keep coming at you.
And what that does is it makes their passing game very efficient. They don't do it often, they don't need to throw often, but Bo is very effective throwing the football as well.
His first down snap out of the gun. George Bolus will keep the football. Found himself a seam on that right side and got to the second level. That's 7 yards to bring up second and short for the junior George Bolus. Tough athlete. Wrestling state qualifier at 185 pounds as a sophomore.
Well, look at him get behind Jeff Monis and Brand Zamory there on the right side. There's Brett Rogers, 47, the fullback with the kickout block, and he's 5-6 yards past the line of scrimmage before the Rough Riders even get a hand on him.
This is a somewhat smallish Kent Roosevelt defensive front 7. We'll tell you about that in a moment. This is Zach Quinn on the call. Look at Quinn battle his way toward that midfield stripe. The line to make right at the 50-yard line, and it's probably going to bring up 3rd down and short.
Yeah, he got right up to the sticks. And Zach Quinn, 6'4", 220, a load to bring down once he gets in the second level. And very rarely do you see the first guy take Quinn down, always fighting for extra yardage. But as you mentioned, they are just shy of that first down.
Kent Roosevelt middle linebacker, Matt Summers, just a junior, but a very, very effective Division I prospect. Wears number 54. Out of that stacked eye, this is Jake McVeigh, first down and more. McVeigh has come free inside the 30. McVeigh, see you later, touchdown. Jake McVeigh and Aurora's Green Men.
Right away, this is going to be what you're going to notice what's going to be a problem for Kent Roosevelt. The stacked eye when you have Rogers and Quinn getting up on those linebackers, and then from there, it's Jake McVeigh using his eyes to read the field and cutting back twice, making Kent Roosevelt tacklers miss on his way to the end zone.
his 11th touchdown run of the year. He averages better than 9 yards a carry. And when he hit the second level, he shoved it into a second gear.
Absolutely. There's the cutback. And watch this nifty move in the open field. And watch 33. Zach Quinn downfield, blocking, clearing the way for McVay. And once he gets in the open field, they're not going to catch Jake McVay.
He was able to put a stiff arm on the free safety, Cardell Jackson, the very talented Kent Roosevelt Jr. free safety. And again, 10th touchdown of the year for Jake McVay, who along with Zach Quinn, just absolutely, they're so formidable, Ryan, and it is. And we got that from Bob Mahalik this week. It's about a mindset that they use offensively. It's what we do. We're going to line up and knock people off the football.
And that's why they only throw the ball 9 times a game. They don't need to. They physically win the line of scrimmage battle and impose their will. That's what we talked about in the open, and that's the key. Be the bully, impose their will, and they did just that on that first drive.
Joey Melchiori out of the hold of Jake Zerwinski. Melchiori to add that PAT, and he pushed it wide right. So Melchiori not able to convert. He's now 29 of 37. But Jake McVay showing his immense ball-carrying skills to get Aurora on the board first. Electrified 51-yard touchdown run from Aurora's Jake McVay has the Green Man, the number 3 seed, on the board first, and showing you exactly what we highlighted in the open, how potent this run game is behind a very strong and formidable offensive line.
Well, what Kent needs to do, Reg, is get their hands on him early. You can't allow McVay, especially McVay because of his shiftiness, to get to that second level. What you also have to be aware of is the Aurora, you talk about the offensive line, the first layer, but then Quinn and Brett Rogers getting up on linebackers and clearing the way, and they were able to do that. You know, the offensive line getting their job done on the down linemen, and then those linebackers getting up on the second level. You can't let a talent like Jake McVay run free in the secondary.
And as we said, they are smallish, so that being the front 7 of Kent Roosevelt's Rough Riders. We'll see what kind of adjustments defensive coordinator Marty Tinkler makes. All right, this is Trey Thomas on the return from the 5-yard line. Thomas with a 22-yard return. Trayvon Chapman and Kent Roosevelt will start from their own 27-yard line as we go back and take a look again. And here's that cutback on our forward scoring drive.
Yeah, McVay, and you're going to see him cut back the opposite direction here. And what I like is 33, the big fullback, Zach Quinn, downfield, picking up the free safety. And McVay, 51-yard touchdown. That's not what Kent Roosevelt wanted, only taking 3 plays by Aurora to get in the end zone.
Tonight's scoring drives, all brought to you by our friends, the Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Trayvon Chapman with that straight quarterback draw. Chapman will bounce his way over the 35-yard line. That's solid. That's 8 on first down to bring up second and short.
I like this play called dedicated run. They're still in the empty set with 5 wide. Spread them out and let Trey Chapman go. And once he gets the edge, runs over and look at Zach Quinn, the linebacker. He plays sideline to sideline. Big athletic kid coming in to clean up Chapman.
Chapman again, he's got the first down as he spins his way over the 40-yard line. So there's a pair of carries for 15 yards now, back-to-back for this Pitt recruit. He's going to play for head coach Paul Christ, who almost sprung that big upset on Notre Dame last weekend in the Pitt Panthers.
Well, that running game by Chapman, that's going to bring the defensive backs and the linebackers up and open up some passing lanes.
Flags and whistles on that snap, and that's going to be a false start on Kent Roosevelt.
Where I see this opening up is over the middle.
Still 5 down.
Aurora's leaving some of the slot receivers from Kent uncovered, and as Chapman runs those quarterback draws and dedicated runs, they're going to inch in, and you're going to see some seam routes over the middle open up to some of these inside slots.
You heard from our game referee for the first time tonight, the veteran OHSAA official, Bill Tickler, as you take a look, too, at this defensive, and actually they're usually going with just a 3-man front. Chapman will trigger the out. This time it is hauled in, As on that reception is Brandon Groh, as Groh will battle his way over the 45-yard line to the 48 to get back a big chunk of that illegal motion that just cost him 5. Let's check that. That was Luther Fortson. Fortson, who wears number 25 on that reception.
18th catch of the year for Fortson, and he did a nice job making the first man miss, getting up, getting 4 yards positive as he had a chance to be tackled for a loss there.
Every snap has been empty so far for Trayvon Chapman. Chapman looking to get to the edge now. Will pull that football down and came up near the 50-yard line. The line to make is a 48-yard line in Aurora territory. So this is going to bring up 3rd and short as you take a look. What a tremendous chat we had with John Nemec. John Nemec played his college football for Frank X. Lauterbur and Jack Murphy back in the 60s at the University of Toledo. And oh, was he spinning some stories to us about his football play days for the Rockets.
If you sit long enough, there's not a school or a coach that man doesn't know. A true legend and inductee into the Ohio State Coaches Football Hall of Fame.
Exactly. His 28th year at the helm, 222 career wins. 3rd and short. This is Trayvon Chapman trying to get to the edge. Not going to be able to do it. He got pushed out of bounds by Nick Sotka. Sotka is number 2 in hits, in tackles on this Aurora Green Men defense. And he's got 4 tackles for loss, just racked up his 5th.
Well, look what Sotka does is he strings him out, and he stays on the blocker, the wide receiver, Fortsons, and Sotka keeps him in front of him, strings Chapman out, and uses the sidelines as an extra defender and pushes him out for a loss, brings up a punting situation for Kent.
And that was 3rd and short, and Kent Roosevelt not able to convert. Jose Roca to use that on-the-move kick and signaling for that fair catch for the Aurora Green Men. Frank Savillo will execute, and we'll see the second possession for quarterback George Bolus and this offense of head coach Bob Mahalik. All right, if you'd like to have a second opportunity to watch this one again, look for this game and other high school playoffs only on Time Warner Cable Local on Demand on Channel 411. You can pause it, fast forward, watch Jake McVay's touchdown run again, rewind, instant replays, local on demand, free with Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. George Bolus looking for a block. He got that block. Bolus first down on that 11-yard carry. As, again, we see the proliferation of what is, let's be honest about this, Ryan Cavanaugh, it's one of the most dominant and physically imposing run games we have in the state.
What I want Bolus to do here, watch Rogers. He needs to bounce out the outside of Rogers there and read the block. Now, this is me being critical on an 11-yard run, Reg. But, Bolus, a junior, read your blocks and get outside. But so far, we don't need to do anything else. If you're Aurora, keep running the football just like this.
And Bob Mahalik sung his praises to us this week at practice. Now go back to the ground game. Big chunk of yardage available for Zach Quinn as Quinn got to the second level and beyond. Quinn got 16 yards and moved those chains. Another Aurora Greenman first down.
Kent's got to do something to stop this, and they brought both inside linebackers. That meant there was nobody in the middle, and once Quinn went to the outside, got up in the second level for a nice chunk of yards, as you mentioned. Those blitz, the 2 blitzes between guard center, that works if they're running inside. When it's a run play outside, it's completely ineffective. You're just taking defenders off the field.
That linebacking trio of Matt Summers, Michael Bush, and Aaron Miller, they've got to make stops tonight. Bolus on the carry. Bolus will duck his way inside a block on that left side. And there you go. There's 6, 7, 8 on first down. They're playing on a short football field, coming up second down and short. You can really open up that run game playbook.
Well, they're staying ahead of the chains, and that's what an offense like this is intended to do. So we get a look at Coach Bob Mahalik, another guy who spent quite a bit of time with us.
How about Bob Mahalik's Friday, November the 2nd, right? The first round. It's his 47th birthday. His team comes from behind and gives him his 100th career victory in the Aurora Green Men program.
Certainly a special one that Coach Mahalik will remember.
Jake McVay trying to get to the edge. That's an outstanding hit off that corner. As coming up off the corner was Brandon Groh, the two-way performer. Groh came up and got McVay to the ground. Nice hit by Groh.
Yeah, Grow and linebacker Michael Bush, offensive tackle Michael Bush. Those are two guys for them that go start offensively and defensively. That's an open field tackle against a very elusive, tough runner in McVay. Terrific job out of Mr. Grow.
Brandon Grow and the Rough Rider D got the stop there. Can they do it again? Out of this stacked eye with that big fullback, Brett Rogers, to lead the way. This is 3rd and short. And this is Jake McVay. Look at that cutback move that got him the first down. McVay was being angled off by junior linebacker Michael Bush, but he gave him a leg, took it away. First down, Aurora.
Yeah, Michael Bush did a nice job. Look, watch him here, shedding the block, getting penetration, but body going in the opposite direction. McVay cuts back, gets enough for the first down, and this drive continues on.
How about this already as our stat man extraordinaire, Jeff Gears, lets us know 100 yards rushing in the first 6 minutes and 17 seconds for Aurora. That's total, of course. The big bulk of it from Jake McVay. Bolus wants to put it up. Being flushed out, and Bolus just threw it away. He was looking to go deep on the seam route to Zach Smierziak, the Miami recruit, the tight end, but it was well defensed in that Kent Roosevelt secondary.
Yeah, and Austin Mastrione from the Kent defensive line put pressure on him. We talked before this game, Michael, about how difficult it is to defend the Aurora pass because you hit him, there's 15 runs in a row. Now they're going to spring out Smierziak on a flag route, and you have to be prepared to cover the pass as well. And that time, Kent Roosevelt did a great job of staying with him deep.
Sure, they get you to commit 8-9 to the box. You high school football fans, join the conversation on Twitter. Use hashtag OHChamps to tweet with us during tonight's telecast. Back to the ground game. Jake McVay. Did he lose the football? That football came free. Kent Roosevelt says they've got it. And evidently George Bolus coughed that football up. Turnover time. Brandon Grow on the fumble recovery for Kent Roosevelt.
Watch there was a dive option to Quinn, and Bolus here on the option. Turns it up the field, and you're going to watch it get poked out from behind as he spins. Here it goes. Boom.
I think was that Austin Mastrione on the hit?
Mastrione, yeah, from the defensive tackle spot.
Yep.
Big guy getting downfield, punches the ball out. That's the danger of the spin move. You don't see the guy coming to where you're spinning into.
I'll mark that down at 5:19 with Aurora on the move to maybe go up and make this a 2-possession game. Now off that zone read, this is Trayvon Chapman. For the first time today, you had off play action, and Chapman kept the football, ushered out of bounds after he got a couple.
We talked about the middle linebacker, heart and soul of the team, as I called him, Zach Quinn, the big Toledo recruit. This is best on best here, Michael. Trayvon Chapman trying to make a move. Quinn not falling for it, pushes him to the outside and brings up a 2nd and 10 situation for the Kent offense.
They'll go 5 wide again. Now Chapman off the waggle. Firing underneath, and that throw is caught as that catch was made again by Luther Fortson, and then Fortson got planted by Jake McVay.
Watch, well, it's outside the replay here. Fortson actually came in, collided, pushed his guy down, and that's what made him so open. And that's a nice hit by McVay coming up. Fortson's going to think about it next time he runs that out route. Where is Jake McVay at?
And again, Aurora is dropping 8 defenders into coverage and taking away some of the passing lanes for Trayvon Chapman. Chapman will fire underneath. He's got Fortson again, who made that grab on the crossing route. Look at that. There's the skills of you, quarterback. Tell us how difficult that is. You're rolling left and come back and zip it across your body.
Absolutely, and it's right on the spot. I mean, that's the most difficult pass for a quarterback you can make because he's not running with him. He's actually a little bit behind him on that route. Get the shoulders around and still drive the football to the spot. Great job by Trey Chapman.
Chapman to Fortson, 21 yards with a first down. Now he came back again, and this time we're going to get a flag as that throw to Zach Janis was being defended. Was that Brett Rogers? Was that the middle linebacker, or was it Frankie Savillo?
Number 9, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Savillo doesn't like this call, but this is the right call. He's got to give Zach Janis the room to run the route. He just stopped there. There's contact, ball in the air. That's pass interference against the defense.
Well, right now, this Aurora secondary has somewhat taken Trey Thomas, the electrifying receiver with 62 catches on the year and 17 touchdowns away. So Chapman is gone to Fortson. and also Zach Janis here on this drive.
Yeah, well, they have double coverage on Trey Thomas. They got a guy up front and then a man over top.
Now, Trayvon Chapman got stood up as he kept the football, working off the blocks of his 240-pound senior left guard, Andy Schaefer, and also that 230-pound senior center, Brad Boehner. Those two are the best. It's a rather smallish offensive line.
Well, we get a good look here. Schmerziak as he came from the back end to make that play. What Kent does is they have heavier guards, lighter tackles. If they're going to pull, they use the outside guys to do it.
Chapman on the move on 2nd and 8, being flushed toward that edge and put it up and too tall for his intended receiver, Trey Thomas. With Jake McVay in coverage for Aurora, going to bring up 3rd and long for Kent Roosevelt.
That one just got away from Chapman on that pass. And again, Zach Schmerziak, the older brother, Miami of Ohio commit, putting a lot of pressure. They're only rushing 3, as you mentioned, and for a guy like Schmerziak to break through double teams and pressure Chapman says a lot about his pass rushing ability.
Ryan, I want to ask you about the concept from Bob Mahalik and his defensive coordinator, Brian Willervig, in a moment. This is a 3rd and 8 for Trayvon Chapman. Now Chapman's got what he wants on that edge, outside the numbers, diving his way inside the 20-yard line, very close to a 1st down. It'll depend on the spot. The line to make was right there at the 20 on 3rd and long.
We know how good of an athlete Trayvon Chapman is, but watch 33 in the white jersey, Zach Quinn, come all the way across the field and meet him at the sideline to knock him out short of the 1st down. That's a big man that can run. 6'4", 220, Zach Quinn getting out there and competing with Trayvon Chapman.
Now head coach John Nemec and his Kent Roosevelt offense going to talk about this as they come up 4th down and short. All right, don't go away. Inside 4 left in the 1st quarter. The Jake McVay 51-yard touchdown run has Aurora on top, 6-zip. Trayvon Chapman and the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt on the move, trailing this with 6-0 to number 3 seed Aurora. Now tonight after the game, stay tuned. Division II Region 8 matchup between number 1 Cincy Turpin and number 4 Franklin. And tomorrow night, a couple of D1s, St. Edward and Mentor live at 7 o'clock on STO, followed by Lakota East and Cincinnati Moeller. OHSAA playoffs presented by Time Warner Cable. On 4th down and 1 out of this stacked eye, Trayvon Chapman, I don't know if he was able to get there. I don't think so. That front of Aurora led by 235-pound senior Nick Groth and 210-pound senior Nick Satka stood Chapman up. And Ryan, it looks like they came up short.
What they got there is Brett Rogers over the nose tackle. The linebacker dropped down. The little, I call him a bulldog. He's a fire plug, and he got lower than the offensive line and just stuffed up the middle there. And Trey Chapman did not pick up enough for that 1st down.
They'll turn the football over on downs as Trey Chapman was leading a very good-looking offensive drive, but it'll come to an end at the 20-yard line of Aurora. So 3rd possession now of this 1st quarter for quarterback George Bolus. Toss sweep, Jake McVay on the cutback. McVay got 5 on 1st down before he was taken to the ground.
This is a pretty good job by Kent Roosevelt to string this out. McVay wants to get to the outside, but they hold the edge. And then from here, it's just McVay, this jitterbug, the jump, step, and always moving forward to get positive yards.
Brandon Groh, just a terrific two-way performer, running back, slot guy, receiver. We've seen him make 2 outstanding hits on Jake McVay. He's got that 62 yards, the big bulk of it, the 51-yard touchdown lightning bolt to give Aurora their lead.
Against this defense, they've got Groh playing defensive end, and that...
Well, McVay trying to spin out of that hit, but he's not going to be able to do it. As that hit came from Austin Mastrioni again, the 250-pound defensive tackle. That's a -7 there. Big play by Mastrioni.
This play was doomed from the beginning. Look at Mastrioni shed the block and then get up on him, and McVay continues to fight for yardage. And Mastrioni continues to wrestle with him, and he lost yardage because of that. Brings up a difficult third down situation for them, but right when Kent needs them to stand up, they did it.
First time that they've played behind the chains has Aurora. This is a third down at 12. Now, this is not their forte, so we'll see what they come up with in the offensive package.
Kent brings pressure, Reg. There it is, the blitz on him.
Heat coming on Bolus, so put it up for grabs. McVay made the catch. Jake McVay has come clean. McVay still alive. Late flag as he finally gets taken to the ground at the 43-yard line. Wow, I'm not sure they drew up that screen right that way, but 39 yards later, for the time being, it's a first down, Aurora. Let's check on the flags.
It's a sideline warning.
How about that? So the infraction was on Kent Roosevelt.
I think they may have got away with a block here when after McVay catches it. Watch a block in the back right there coming out of your screen. It was close. We'll see. The Roosevelt player, which I couldn't see his number here, Reg, but
That
right
was
here.
Aaron Miller, I believe.
Look at on
oh,
there
you're
it
looking
is.
here.
Yeah, right there,
Okay.
number 52. That's Michael Bush.
Yep.
Looked like his head was in the back of him, but regardless, McVay gets up into the open field.
Yeah, linebacker Michael Bush there in pursuit. Aaron Miller had a shot at George Bolus. 51-yard pitch and catch. Now go back to the ground game. Off that inside reverse, carrying the football is Kirk Janik. Janik working out of the slot, averages better than 7 yards per carry, and this ground game continues to grind it up here in the opening quarter.
Janik goes in motion and then comes back at the snap, bubbles back and takes the handoff. Nice pursuit downfield by Kent Roosevelt, but again, too many yards on first down for them to allow it. They've allowed Aurora to get back into that 7-8 yards of carry, and that's not how you can play defense against a team like this.
Defensive end Corey Spicer on that hit. Second down and short. Give the football now to the fullback. You know, we told Bob Mahalik, or asked him yesterday, do you give your 210-pound weight room dynamo Brett Rogers any sugar once in a while? Do you let him carry the football? Mahalik laughed at us.
Yeah, well, there it was. He's got
There you
24
go.
carries on the year. We expect him to get it twice, maybe first half, maybe second half. You mentioned he's a weight room dynamo. Everybody remembers Adam Bellamy from Ohio State on the 2008 state championship team. Brett Rogers rewrote every record in the weight room that Bellamy had. All 5'8" of him, bench, squat, hang, all of them are Brett Rogers records now.
And Zach Quinn just burst through that big seam on the left side, following the blocks of 260-pound junior and Division I prospect Justin Wasbinski, who wears number 54, and that left guard Nick Saka.
This is Aurora football. You'll see the first time that Zach Quinn has a hand laid on him by a red jersey. He's 5-6 yards downfield. Great block, little crossing block up front, opening up that hole for Quinn, and Aurora appears to have found their running game again after one series off.
They picked up a 3rd and 13 on a 51-yard hookup from quarterback George Bolus to running back Jake McVay to keep this drive alive. All right, 12 minutes of football in the books. Our Division II Region 5 semifinal, 3rd-seeded Aurora, with Jake McVay finding the end zone with a 6-0 lead on Kent Roosevelt. State champions in 2008 and perennial playoff participants in Division II, the Aurora Green Men, showing you why they have one of the most formidable run games in the state of Ohio with a 6-0 lead. Great to have you with us tonight. Just a gorgeous, absolutely beautiful Friday night in November. The football gods sparkled for us tonight, Ryan Cavanaugh.
I think after last weekend, they owed us one, and we're cashing it in now.
That's right. You were at the Quagmire at Westlake High School.
Right.
For Mansfield, Madison, and Westlake.
Yeah, mud wrestling football.
This is George Bolus, and Bolus has come free. Bolus on that option right, and he's to the 11-yard line. That's 12 yards. move the chains. Another first down on the first play of the second quarter. George Bolus.
It's very effective faking it to Zach Quinn and then pulling it, running around Anderson. You're going to see Grant Mercer, terrific athlete from Kent Roosevelt, coming over and making the tackle. But again, 8 yards and running free. The first time he's touched is by Grant Mercer, 10 yards down the field. And Kent Roosevelt has to get hands on the runner at the line of scrimmage.
Out of their stacked eye, this is Zach Quinn. Look at Quinn take that first contact and battle his way inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. That first contact was made by Aaron Miller, just a 165-pound senior, and Quinn ran right through that attempted tackle.
Yeah, he's going to lose that battle most of the time. You see, look at the playoff history of Aurora. Most recently in 2011 there, lost the state semis to the eventual runner-up in Avon.
Of course, got beat by Ashland in the first round after the state championship in 08. Had back-to-back first-round losses. Toss sweep. Jake McVay looking for a cut. Well, outstanding play off the edge. That's Michael Bush, the 200-pound junior backer. He came up and made a sure stick on Jake McVay to put him down at the 6-yard line.
He didn't make the tackle, but Cardell Jackson is what made this play. He came up, the much smaller man took on the lead block, which was Zach Quinn, and took a bit of a pounding. But that opened it up for Michael Bush and the rest of the Kent Roosevelt defense come and make the play. That's selfless, because I personally would not like to run into Zach Quinn.
Of course you wouldn't. You're a quarterback. You don't want contact from anybody.
That's a good point.
Third down and goal from the 7-yard line. Now this is Janice trying to get to the edge. That's going to be a push in the back, and it's going to come back as he was trying to make his way to the edge. Kurt Janik got some help, but the help was with a block in the back that's going to go against Aurora.
You're going to see the right guard, Jeff Mona's, pull and get in front of this.
10 yards, still third down.
Right guard, Jeff Mona's, pulls. He gets in front of Janik. There's 70 at the top of your screen, and then you're going to see 70 as it comes into the screen here. There he is. Jeff Mona's trying to get another piece of grow, and he did. But the hands have to be on the number in front of the jersey, not the back, and that play's coming back.
So will this result in a very large stop for Kent Roosevelt? We'll see. Now this is third down and goal from the 19-yard line. Remember, this drive started at the 9, so no first down opportunity here, but probably two-down territory as well.
When last time they had third and long, Kent Roosevelt brought the pressure. Now that was when Aurora was backed up in their own zone, and they don't bring the blitz here this time.
Bolus now getting flushed out, and he'll throw the football away. Nice job by that Kent Roosevelt defensive front seven as they flush Bolus. We've got another flag from behind quarterback George Bolus.
Well, I saw where he threw it, and that's intentional grounding in my book. He just looked like he just threw it straight to the ground. I didn't see a receiver in the area. And the ball did not
Intentional
travel.
grounding, number 7. Lost it down, fourth down.
And the ball didn't travel past the line of scrimmage. What that's going to cause is moving them out of field position. And you look at the pressure here. Drew Gallagher, sophomore lineman. It's not past the line of scrimmage. There's no receiver in the area. And that's going to move them back, and what I think out of field goal range, Michael.
So the football now at the 36-yard line, and it is going to bring up that loss of down. Will make it fourth and goal from the 36, and Zach Quinn, the outstanding running back, linebacker senior, in to punt the football away for Bob Mahalik.
Yeah, these are the type of plays that would drive a coach crazy. If you can't take points off the board, even ahead, that's 3 points. That's a very makeable kick by Joey Melchiori, and now you're punting.
So think about it. Last two Aurora trips in the red zone, the Bolus fumble that negated that drive, and now the back-to-back penalties not allowing Aurora to add to their lead. All right, I want to remind you, you need to be earning points watching tonight's game here on Sports Time Ohio. If not, you can. You can do it by downloading the Vigil app at STOHD.com and start earning points while watching your favorite Sports Time Ohio shows. All of those points can then be redeemed for many terrific prizes.
Yep.
Vigil app. You got the Vigil app?
I'll tell you what, I'm going home to download it because my TV's always on STO. I'll be the leading point earner in the country.
I don't
with
know
my
if you're
app.
eligible, but we'll let executive producer Pat Kilkenny figure that out. Make sure you, though, get on that Vigil app and start earning those points here on STO. All right, Zach Quinn now to punt the football away. Try to angle this toward that left boundary. Excellent job by Quinn as that football will be down by the Aurora punt cover team at the 3-yard line. That's where John Nemec and his Kent Roosevelt offense backed up. Try to put a drive together. Aurora with a 6-0 lead when we come back. Excellent job by the senior standout Zach Quinn, and also the coverage unit and Miles Milner, Ryan, for Aurora.
What he does here that I like is he puts his back to the end zone to make sure the football's not going to get past him, and then falls on it down at about the 3-yard line. And this is going to make it very difficult for Chapman. When you get in the red zone, the playbook shrinks. It also shrinks when your back is this close to the end zone.
A good look at the outstanding Mr. Ohio candidate for Kent Roosevelt, Trayvon Chapman. He's going to load it up and go deep, but Trey Thomas made that grab. Outstanding adjustment to the football. Might be a face mask on the end of it. How's that for big play potential to get you out of being backed up? The 63rd catch of the year for Trey Thomas, the All-State candidate for Kent Roosevelt.
They've been doubling him all night, and they did so on this play. As we get the official's call here.
Number 14, Aurora, 15 yards, first down.
That's Zach Smerziak chasing downfield and getting it. They've been double covering him, and you see here both guys are on him. As the safety's coming over, it's an underthrown ball. Thomas sees it, he makes the adjustment, goes up and gets it. And this is not something Aurora wants to see. And that's Trey Thomas in the open field, because he's got the speed and the agility, the moves to get upfield and make big plays happen.
Chapman being flushed to this near sideline. And he'll finally get pushed out of bounds by Brett Rogers, the middle linebacker. At the end of that 27-yard hookup from Trayvon Chapman to Trey Thomas, one of their outstanding, it was Zach Smerziak who had that inadvertent face mask that cost more yardage on Aurora.
You mentioned Justin Wisbinski, a Division I type guy from Aurora, only a junior. He just saw Division I speed and quickness in the backfield. Thought he had Trey Chapman, and then he saw him go right past him.
All right, this is 2nd and 5 for Trayvon Thomas. Thomas with speed, outside the numbers. He'll step out of bounds in front of that Aurora bench. First down, Trayvon Thomas, Kent Roosevelt.
Brandon Grove, the running back, he's playing in the slot. He got a nice block, seal block on Brett Rogers, the linebacker, which allows Trey Chapman to get outside. That was one of my keys. Contain him, set the edge with those ends, and keep Chapman inside. Don't let him get outside like that.
Well, evidently, Trayvon Chapman stepped out of bounds at the 46-yard line. So got a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. Empty look for Trayvon Chapman. He wants to go up top. They'll set up screen, and not able to haul it in was Brandon Grove. Brett Rogers there in Aurora coverage.
Trey Chapman missed his slot receiver to the top side. I believe it was Zach Janis in the slot, who just came wide open. He didn't see him. He was uncovered. Janis with his hands open, saying, "Look, throw me the football. I got the first down."
All right, this is 4th down and 1 for Trayvon Chapman. Trying to pick up that first down. He'll get to the edge, turn that corner. Chapman's still alive to the 35-yard line. That's 11 yards and a first down for Trayvon Chapman. Kent Roosevelt needing to keep the drive alive, and they put it in the hands of the Mr. Ohio candidate.
Brett Rogers thinks he has the angle here. Grove doing a nice job on him. Stays on the block just long enough for Chapman to get the end. And Kent Roosevelt there was looking for the flag as Zach Smerziak threw Trey Chapman down in a manner they thought was a little too harsh.
All right, as you see, since 2006, 4 trips to the state playoffs in the month of November for John Nemec and his Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. Got beat by Walsh Jesuit last year. That throw from Trayvon Chapman sailed on him and was almost picked off by Jake McVeigh, but we've got a flag that came flying in.
Trayvon Chapman looks like there is no flag on the play. Trayvon Chapman has got to do a better job of reading the field. He's got open receivers, and he's locking on receivers and trying to force the football. He needs to read the field and take what the defense gives him.
That flag that was thrown was picked up. Now Chapman will come underneath. He gunned that right through the hands of Trey Thomas. So the flag was picked up. They decided there was no infraction. It was thrown on that first down call. Let's go bring up 3rd and 10 now.
You're going to see exactly what Trey Chapman sees, right through the hands of Trey Thomas. And again, he's got a brace on his arm, and it's difficult to get his arm up. Not making excuses for him. The ball hit his hands, and as any receiver coach will tell you, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it.
Now Chapman at 3rd and 10. Trayvon Chapman with speed, first down and more. Oh, look at him deliver the blow at the end of that run as he said hello to cornerback Miles Milner. The 205-pound senior Trayvon Chapman showing you he can run it with power as well as speed.
This is turning into their best offensive weapon, Michael, and that's spread it out and let him pick a lane and run. Watch Miles Milner. This is not a battle he's going to win very often. Trey Chapman, he's a guy, along with Summers, along with Cardell Jackson, who spent the summer twice a day working out, living in the weight room, according to Coach Nemec. As you can see there, the much stronger player in that exchange. This has been the story all year for Trayvon Chapman, as it is again. 62 passing, 67 rushing.
Yeah. Very balanced. The Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt are going to use their second first half timeout here as Trey Chapman's got Kent Roosevelt in the red zone. All right, let's check in with STO's Will Hewitt, who is in Mentor, taking a look at another Division II playoff game tonight with Chardon involved. Go ahead, Will.
Thanks, guys. On the second drive of the game, Chardon ran the ball 11 straight times to get in the end zone. Dale Richardson, quarterback for Kenston, answers back to make it 7-7, but a touchdown reception by Gray and a field goal added on. 14-7 here in the second. Back to you.
All right, well, we appreciate that. We'll keep an eye on that. Chardon with their 14-7 lead on Kenston. As we take a look at, of course, this is a regional semifinal. Next week we go to the regional finals. And, number 1 seed, 8 seed Kenston, and 4 Chardon. Of course, the winner there will tangle with this 2-3 seed winner, Kent Roosevelt and Aurora. That'll be next Friday night. Trayvon Chapman now getting flushed. Will fire that throw. Touchdown. Trey Thomas made the grab. Chapman to Thomas. Hook it up for 6 for the 18th time this year.
Milner was left on an island over on the bottom of your screen with Trey Thomas. That's not a battle many cornerbacks in the state of Ohio in high school football can win against a talent like Trey Thomas one-on-one. Perfect pass by Chapman on the run, putting it down and away for Thomas to catch it and score the touchdown.
Jose Roca will add the PAT that puts Kent Roosevelt on top for the first time tonight. Again, the 18th touchdown connection on the year. The talented right arm of Trey Chapman to the outstanding receiving exploits of Trey Thomas. Kent Roosevelt with a 7-6 lead.
It's a time to take the ball, and it's a time not.
That's Trey Thomas, as we said, with his 18th touchdown catch of the year. For Trayvon Chapman, his 33rd touchdown throw of the year. As well, those two have a definite strong sink in terms of their pass catch game here at Kent Roosevelt.
They've completed a few passes over their lives together, Reghi. And Kent Roosevelt, I mentioned at the top of the program that 80% of the offense goes through Trayvon Chapman. So far today, 24 plays for Kent Roosevelt, 13 rushes by Chapman, and 11 passes. So he's actually over the 80%. He's at 100% right now.
Right on time, absolutely. All right, Aurora finds himself down for the first time tonight here. A little over 8 minutes left in quarter number 2. Jose Roca on the approach. Jake McVeigh from the goal line for Aurora, and he was in the end zone and not able to come out. Looked like he might have been able to stay in the field of play, but was indeed ruled in the end zone. So let's take a look at the touchdown drive as we take a look at Trayvon Chapman and his extraordinary skills.
What stands out to me there, 16-yard pass. When they needed a big play on that drive, it was the feet of Chapman. But because of that running, you saw Zach Schmerzak, number 14, blitzing off the edge and breaking down, expecting Chapman to spill it. He spilled it just the opposite way, and he found Thomas for the touchdown.
How about that kind of answer, too, They were backed up a 97-yard drive that started with that big 27-yard pitch and catch. Now this first down call for Aurora as they'll feature their ground game. Jake McVeigh on the carry. If you're just joining us, shame on you. Where you been? Michael Reghi, Ryan Cavanaugh, Amanda Turk on the sidelines, and all of our STO crew, headed by our producer Gene Winters here at Hudson Memorial Stadium.
I've been impressed with the Kent Roosevelt front four. Defensively,
they're
front
small,
five.
but they've been getting after it. Now out of the gun with a pair of offset for George Bolus. Off play action. Bolus will throw the out route, and he got picked off by Cardale Jackson. Cardale Jackson. He's been playing varsity in the secondary for John Nemec since his freshman year at Kent Roosevelt.
Bolus tries to get it to his tight end Schmerzak, and he doesn't see Jackson on the outside coming up. And there he is, sneaking in behind him. It's a good pass if Jackson isn't there. He sees the trail defender on Schmerzak, but not Jackson. Excellent catch, one-handed catch as he's going down. That's a huge play for the junior who Coach Nemec says has a very bright future. He's looking forward to seeing him having a much bigger role on offense next year.
Speaking of, here he comes to join this five-wide set as Kent Roosevelt has forced a pair of turnovers. Trayvon Chapman gonna load it up for Thomas. He had separation, but Chapman gunned it over his head, incomplete.
All this is a double move, Michael. They've hit Trey Thomas a few times, including the touchdown on hitches and out routes. This time, runs a lazy one, pops it up top. Trey Chapman tried to put it on a line, needed to put a little air in the ball.
Ryan, do you think the accent when John Nemec looked at his offensive possibilities that they might be able to find some things to their liking against the Aurora corners?
It certainly seems that way. And when he looked at it, I mean, there's not a whole lot to do in the middle with Quinn and Schmerzak.
Right.
So if this is, you're going to attack this defense, it's got to be to the outside. And he's found some success thus far doing just that, Michael.
Chapman will fire underneath, and he almost got picked off as picking that up was bound for the Toledo Rocket program, Zach Quinn. And you know, head coach in Toledo, Matt Campbell, just salivating over getting Zach Quinn in his program next year, and he'll play him at linebacker in that Rocket D.
Well, Matt Campbell, graduate of Mount Union. I like this play, Michael. It's Fortson coming across the middle. He just doesn't see Quinn. I think there's a lot of room and area to exploit on this Aurora defense in the middle, but I want Fortson to settle and not continue into coverage.
Sure, we'll keep an eye on that. Trayvon Chapman, this is a straight quarterback draw, but it did not fool that Aurora front. And Zach Quinn, who came up and said, I'm going to spy you, Trayvon Chapman, and put him down for a loss to bring up fourth down.
Aurora and Coach Worthy, enough of the shenanigans. We're not going to let Trayvon Chapman run all over us. We're going to have Quinn spy, and look at him close down there. Get inside, grow, and hold the ankles. Chapman, at that point, you go down instead of get injured because Zach Quinn was not letting go of that lower limb.
Yeah, how about the X's and O's going back and forth between John Nemec and Bob Mahalik, 4th and 13, and John Nemec said, we're not punting the football. Trayvon Chapman, Quinn's coming at him. Chapman's throw is caught by Trey Thomas. He moved the sticks on 4th and 13. First down, Kent Roosevelt.
Michael, they're doubling him. They have Milner up in front with safety help behind it. But it doesn't matter if someone's in front if you're still playing behind him. Look how deep number 6 Milner is. If you're going to bracket him, you've got to stay in front of him and take away that play, especially when you know where the first down sticks are.
That's why we brought it up a moment ago. Chapman going to pull that football down. And Chapman will get pushed out of bounds as a nice defensive pursuit again. Zach Quinn, he's spying Trayvon Chapman. And when you only send 3 and send 8 in coverage, something that Aurora felt they needed to do.
Well, that's something Coach Mahalik talked to us about this week. If Trey Chapman's doing his thing, running the football, which he did on that last drive, we'll take Quinn and we'll spy him. He felt that Zach Quinn is a good enough athlete to keep with Trayvon Chapman, and thus far, he's been able to do just that.
All right, this is a 2nd and 14. Throw that bubble. And look at the Aurora defense all over Brandon Grove. As coming up from the outside linebacker spot was Zach Smerziak, who made that hit.
Zach Smerziak said Quinn's getting too much of the credit. Look at him blow this play up, one hand, getting it on Grove, and then Brett Rogers and the rest of the Green men coming in and cleaning him up. Great single individual effort there by Zach Smerziak.
All right, stay tuned. Coming up next, our Wayside Furniture halftime report. Ryan and I will look back at the first half. We'll get you caught up on all playoff scores from around the area. Another check-in with Will Ewick live in Menor, Chardon and Kenston. Wayside Furniture, better price lower. Trayvon Chapman on the move. And, he threw that up for grabs. Ill-advised throw that fell incomplete in the end zone.
What he had, Michael, was Fortson again dragging across from that trip set up top, but he just airmailed it over his head, and dangerous pass. I mean, almost picked off by the Greenman in there in the end zone.
On 4th and 13, Kent Roosevelt head coach John Nemec converted a moment ago with the 18-yard hookup. This time, though, he's going to send Jose Roca, who and Coach Nemec has a tremendous leg. This will be a 43-yard attempt from the right hash.
The American flag behind that end zone is laying flat. Wind should not be a factor on this kick by Roca.
Out of the hold of Zach Janis. Lot of leg from Jose Roca, and he'll put 3 on the board. He hits it clean from 43 yards away to bump the Kent Roosevelt lead to 4 at 10-6.
It's an excited young man, and Kent does what they need to do. That is, when you have drives, when you establish a drive like that and get into the opponent's territory, you got to come away with some points. They take 3. Now they make it a touchdown lead over Aurora.
Boy, in the holder, Zach Janis got this down. Ryan, that's inside that right upright with about, 7-8 yards to spare?
Yeah, Jose Roca.
Hey, man, that might have been there from 50 now.
Sure.
That had 7-8 yards to spare on that.
And with a game like this, that may come in handy later when you know you have a weapon like Roca.
Zach Roca's 43-yard field goal hit as we take a look at our Northeast Ohio Ford dealers. Drive there that, and again, remember, they were looking at 4th and 13, and Trayvon Chapman and Trey Thomas converted on that 18-yard pitch and catch.
Excellent point. Timing route. Again, that's what happens when you have 2 guys who are so familiar with the route running and the passing of each other.
Jake McVeigh will handle this kickoff return from the 2, and he got upended before he could get to the 20-yard line. Work on that kick cover squad from Angelo Norvell, who came down and got down low to upend Jake McVeigh.
That's what I like. Senior backup defensive end playing special teams, coming up with a huge play. Look at that hit, getting low, taking out Jake McVeigh.
I got to tell you, I'm partial to all the kick cover guys. Did you ever play them?
Yeah.
You're a quarterback. You never played them. You never play them. You were a star. I had to play them. That's why I'm partial to these guys.
Nobody said I was a star, just a quarterback.
Go back to the ground game and that first down carry for Zach Quinn. All right, let's see, Ryan Cavanaugh. Let's see now how this offensive ground game that averages 266 yards a game responds. This is 10 unanswered now for Kent Roosevelt after Jake McVeigh had that 51-yard touchdown run for Aurora on their first possession of the night.
Well, those last 3 points came off of a turnover which occurred throwing the football.
2 turnovers?
Right, one running by Boas and then that one. That's how the points came. But keep the ball on the ground. Get in this triple I, 2 tights, Go back to what got you here, Greenman.
Bolus will run option right. Well, look at George Bolus. Powerful run from the junior quarterback. Bolus looking at 2nd down and 5, just ripped off 15 and a first down.
Now this is a quarterback that wants to be on the kick team. Look how physical he is. Boom, 2 tacklers. Look at him run through a 3rd. Finally gets dragged down. Grant Mercer was a great position right there. Boom. Bolus, the wrestler, running through tackles. Groh finally brings him to the ground.
Ryan, that first hit he ran out of was middle linebacker Matt Summers, the outstanding 230-pound junior. Now run that quick trap, and that's Zach Quinn on the call. Quinn, who had 145 yards and that big 2-yard touchdown run last week late in the game. 4th quarter, right? Aurora's down 32-29 to New Philadelphia, and they went 86 yards in a little over 2 minutes, all on the ground.
And we talked. You questioned Coach Mahalik about it this week. He said, "Coach, what was it like?" He said, "Very calm."
Yeah,
they said, we gotta throw. He said, "No, we don't. We're gonna run our offense." And the offensive lineman, at that point, Coach Mahalik was their favorite person in the world. Yeah,
you're right.
Run it. And this is exactly what they're doing now.
We asked him what he found out about his football team. Now Bolus will run option left. Well, look at George Bolus keep that football. He could have pitched it to Jake McVay, snuck inside. First down, Aurora. That's 9 more on the ground, but we do have a flag that was thrown while Bolus was moving the chains.
George Bolus getting a little sneaky, fake pitch, keep it. I believe this is going to be a late hit out of bounds on the quarterback.
Number 31, 15 yards at the end of the run, first down.
And Grant Mercer, the strong safety, he had the back. He's the one who falls for the fake. I'm sorry, that's Groh. Watch Grant Mercer at the end here come in and hit him late. I don't know about that, Michael.
Yeah, I'm a defensive guy, so
I was
I'm
say,
not going to say anything.
I know what you think about that.
I'm not going to say anything. All right, out of their stacked eye now. On first down from the 34-yard line. This is Zach Quinn, and Quinn got taken down as Brandon Groh came up for the corner to make that stop. All right, now tonight after our game, stay tuned for a Division II Region 8 matchup down in Southwest Ohio between number 1 Cincinnati Turpin and number 4 Franklin. And tomorrow night, a couple of D1 games, St. Edward and Mentor. Live at 7 o'clock here on Sports Time Ohio with Mike Cairns and Greg Fry, followed by Lakota East and Cincinnati Moeller. Don't you love it? Month of November, OHSAA playoff presented here on Sports Time Ohio by Time Warner Cable. This is George Bolus, option right. He'll keep that football as Brandon Groh forced him inside, and on the cleanup was the aforementioned middle linebacker, Matt Summers. There's Summers. What a good-looking athlete. Just a junior. Already all the Mid-American Conference schools looking for the services of Matt Summers.
Asking Coach Nemec, how do you describe Matt Summers? It only took one word: tough.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of kid who was born to play football, loves it, the quiet type leader, but certainly the leader of the defense and a guy that Coach Nemec is happy to have next year.
See the numbers of quarterback George Bolus. They're 3 for 4 on third down pickups. This is 3rd and 8 out of the eye. Bolus to put it up. Set up screen to Jake McVay. McVay outside the numbers. McVay with speed. He's to the corner. Touchdown, Jake McVay. His 2nd of the night. 31-yard screen pass from George Bolus to Jake McVay.
You see McVay down. From the looks of it, he just lost his wind, but what a terrific play call by Coach Mahalik. Play action rolls, and then the backside screen to the running back you just faked it to. Look at Zach Smerziak, number 14, downfield, manhandling the cornerback to open up Groh. There he is, getting the block on Groh to open it up for McVay. Takes a shot at the end from Grant Mercer, but what a play call. I love that play. Play action, that's all they've shown him is play action, play side, and now you're going to pop it out back on a screen to the running back.
Just beautifully conceived. 2nd touchdown, Jake McVay, and I'm glad you showed that just outstanding block from Zach Smerziak. And I guarantee you that head coach Don Treadwell of the Miami Redhawks who has recruited and has the commitment from Zach Smirniak, loved that as much as we did.
Absolutely. From a tight end like Smirniak, there's nothing you like better than seeing him or tight end or a wide receiver 20 yards downfield and not making contact, getting into it.
Ryan, he held that block for, I'm going to say, he held it from the left hash to out at the numbers. That's 9-10 yards. He stayed on that block.
That's what I call collecting cab fare.
Sure.
And that, again, I believe that's just the wind knocked out. As Mercer hit him, he landed right on the football. But what a day so far as you look at those numbers for Jake McVeigh. Now 70 yards receiving with 61 and 1 touchdown each way. Puts Aurora back on top, and Joey Melchiori comes out to kick the extra point.
Melchiori to try to close this down and bump this lead up to 3 again. Melchiori this time will hit that PAT. And the Aurora Green Men, state champions in 2008, put together the 7-play, 81-yard drive. And look at this block from Zach Smirniak right there that sprung Jake McVeigh. Got inside the pylon, his second TD of the night. Took 3 minutes and 20 seconds, and that is our Ford scoring drive, brought to you by all our good friends of the Northeast Ohio Ford dealers.
Well, I hope my...
They took that shot in the end zone as he got inside the pylon.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Michael, I hope my attempt at playing doctor is correct, and my diagnosis of him losing his breath is all not something to do with his hip, because he appears to be favoring that left side. We talked about the Westlake Madison game last week in the mud, and I always am of the belief you want a clean game, you want to see the 2 best teams playing in the playoffs and let the best team go on, and that includes not having injured players, letting the elements get in the way, and so far we've gotten that in this game. This has been everything we would hope for.
Now, George Bolus and the Aurora offense respond as they answer Trayvon Chapman and Trey Thomas. 13-10 Aurora with their second lead of the night as we're with 1:57 left in the second quarter. Know you're enjoying it, this Division II Region 5 semifinal. And this is Trey Thomas on the kickoff return from the 5. Thomas with speed and will angle his way out over the 30-yard line. So very nice operating position now. 1 minute and 50 seconds left, and I believe, yes, the 1 timeout for the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt.
But remember, this is an offense that is built and designed to score in a hurry.
Right now.
A minute and 50 is more than enough time for Coach Nemick, Trayvon Chapman, and of course Trey Thomas, as you saw there on the return.
Last week, 53 and 54-yard touchdown bombs from Trayvon Chapman to Trey Thomas in the second half brought them back from a 10-point halftime deficit.
Keep an eye on Trey Thomas over the middle.
This is Chapman. It'll gun that throw, and he's got Luther Fortson. Fortson, good move. Lost the football. Fortunately for Ken Roosevelt, out of bounds. That's 27 yards. Just that triggered throw by Trayvon Chapman on that level route, that crossing route to Luther Fortson.
This is the 3rd time he's tried to get it to Fortson, and this is the first completion. Again, the middle of the field's open. You're going to see him get it to Fortson and watch Thomas and Boehner, the wide receiver. There's Boehner getting a piece. Here's Thomas getting a piece. I think they're listening to us out there. They said, forget about Zach Smirniak. We're going to do some downfield blocking ourselves.
Again empty with 4 wide. Chapman. Trayvon Chapman keeping the play alive. Firing that throw, and it's almost picked off. As coming up from that corner, Frank Savillo had his hands on the football, the 150-pound senior on that corner for Aurora.
Yeah, Trayvon Chapman did this all himself, and now Michael, when you're scrambling, you cannot allow yourself to stay upright and lose your mechanics. If you saw where the release point was, it was high, never gave him a chance. You have to step and drive the football at your receiver.
What a wonderful playmaker Trayvon Chapman is. Bubble screen, Trey Thomas.
Speaking of wonderful playmakers.
Yes, there's one right there. Is Thomas to the 28-yard line. That's 11 yards and a first down. Now, listen, still a world of time left, 1:22. They've got the one timeout in their pocket, and they're knocking on the door.
What Coach Mahalik said he wanted to do in doubling him is take the front guy, who's Milner here, and get up in him. Disrupt the timing, beat up Trey Thomas at the line of scrimmage. You can't have a quick hitter like that in 10 yards before you're touched by anybody. You can't let Trey Thomas get an open, free release off the line of scrimmage. You got to bully him at the line.
There's been virtually no attempt to establish a run game at all tonight with Brandon Grove. Trey Thomas being chased. Thomas will step up, run away from Aurora Greenmen defenders, and come to a slide at the 19-yard line, which is, that's 10 yards. And let's see, depending on the spot, that's very, very close to a first down.
Watch the explosion here. When he decides to go, boom. That's that quick first step, and it just gets tripped up by Brett Rogers. He didn't feel him from the backside, but he kept going.
2nd and 1. Thomas looking end zone. Football was deflected and knocked down by the corner, Miles Milner. Milner had coverage on Trey Thomas at the 5-yard line.
Now what they did this time, they put Zach Smerziak on Trey Thomas. We're going to take one of our big outside linebackers and beat him up. And then Milner, who was playing corner, came up, and I think it hits him in the head. Oh, boom. Right off his hands there. And Smerziak may have got a hand on it.
All right, 3rd down and short. I mean, 3rd and less than a yard. Let's see if Trey Thomas, he's empty again in the backfield, but let's see if he keeps the football to keep a drive alive.
Well, they got Smerziak over Thomas in the slot again, playing a man-to-man.
Rolling left with pressure. Thomas threw it out of bounds. And there's your guy, Smerziak, who had stepped in front of Trey Thomas. Now, 4th down and short. I'm a little surprised. You know, first down, 4th and a half yard was 3rd and a half yard. A little surprised maybe that Trayvon Chapman run the football, pick up the first down. Clock stops while the sticks move.
Well, here's a big play, Michael. They need a half a yard for a first down. It's a 3-point game, and you know Jose Roca has the leg to kick this field goal. And I think this is exactly the discussion going on with Coach Nemec and the Kent sideline. They're going to take a timeout to talk about it. But do you take the points off the foot of Roca to tie the game up, or try to impose your will, get a half yard?
Aurora will get the football to start the 3rd quarter. They deferred. And so you're looking at 4th down, about a half yard with the football resting just inside the 20-yard line in this 13-10 Aurora lead over Kent Roosevelt. Bob Mahalik, the head coach of Aurora, John Nemec, the head coach of Kent Roosevelt, they both smiled last. You know,
the inside trip, stay in and block.
Let's listen to John Nemec.
Fans download the new Ohio High School Athletic Association mobile app today. Stay up to date with.
That's 28 years of high school coaching expertise right there.
What I anticipate they're going to do is put Trey Chapman on the edge. They're going to run him towards trips, and they're going to put the decision in the hands of Trey Chapman. Keep the football or find one
Give
of your
a two-way go.
receivers. Absolutely.
Okay.
And I think that's the right call. When you have a special talent like Chapman, who, as you mentioned, has it upstairs as well as physically, let your best player make the best play at the most opportune time.
Now, for one of the only few times tonight, they'll line up tailback Brandon Grove with him. Straight quarterback carry from Trayvon Chapman. Made it look easy, didn't he? Got 3 yards on 4th and a half. First down, move the sticks. All right, now, no more timeouts. 38 seconds left. Clock being started right now. Red zone time for Trayvon Chapman. The trigger end zone. Trying to throw that skinny post, and it came up incomplete for Trey Thomas.
Just underthrew it a little bit, but that's a timing post there. They have man-to-man coverage with Trey Thomas. Aurora, after doubling him all game, has decided to put more people in the box, perhaps to stop the running of Chapman, but they're leaving a very dangerous situation, and that's Trey Thomas man-to-man. Good coverage by Jake McVeigh.
29 seconds left. Trayvon Chapman, end zone, off the hands of his intended receiver, Luther Fortson. Fortson, who's made a couple of catches tonight. as Trayvon Chapman and his offense trying to reclaim the lead.
Fortson looks for a one-handed catch, and he almost gets it here. Looked like he was going to be able to bring it in his body. He's got to get that right hand involved. Once he puts up the stop sign, stops the ball, reach out with the other one, two-handed.
3rd and 10. Chapman will waggle. Again, trigger end zone. Too tall for Trey Thomas, who was working out of the slot. Now with 4th and 10. John Nemec says, Jose Roca, go out and tie this thing up again for me with your very talented right leg.
And credit the Aurora defense, 47, Brett Rogers and Zach Quinn, the 33, the linebacker, both of them blitzing, putting a lot of pressure on Trey Chapman, which is what you have to do. Make him uncomfortable and throw off his timing.
So be a 34-yard attempt to try to tie it up for that young man there, Jose Roca, out of the hold of Zach Janis. Again, all kinds of leg for Roca, and he hit it again. From 43 yards out a moment ago, now from 34 yards out. How about Jose Roca? He's 2 for 2 on field goal connections tonight, and we're tied at 13 apiece.
Both from the same hash. That's the sign of a good kicker. It doesn't matter how deep you're kicking it, you kick the same way. And you saw from the distance on both those kicks, Jose Roca, it could have been a chip shot extra point, or it could have been a 50-yarder, just steps right into it. As Coach Nemec warned us or alerted us to it, real nice looking kicker.
He is very, very high on Jose Roca. As we take a look at our forward drive summary, as Jose Roca has gone 2 for 2 tonight. 51 yards in 1:41, and Trayvon Chapman took 2 shots to the end zone after they picked up that first down on the 4.5-yard carry by Chapman.
And that's several times tonight Kent has converted on 4th down. Of course, the pass to Trey Thomas down here.
Yeah, well, I love an offense that will take shots to the end zone when they're in the red zone. Brandon Whedon and the Cleveland Browns might want to do a little more of that in the final 7 games of the year. This kickoff return from Aurora in the hands of Kirk Janik, their slot back, who once in a while will get back on kick returns. A 175-pound junior. Only 8 seconds left in the opening half, and with this field position, you're thinking maybe George Bolas takes a knee and everybody heads to the locker rooms?
Yeah, I put him in victory formation here, take a knee. And that's exactly what they're going to do.
George Bolas will indeed do just that. How about this first 24 minutes of football? Know you're enjoying it here on Sports Time Ohio, getting absolutely what we figured would be the way things go tonight. Amanda Turk ready to stand by with the head football coach of the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. Amanda is joined by John Nemec. Go ahead, Amanda.
Coach, you just told me it's been a pretty good game so far.
Yeah, our kids are playing hard. Both teams are. They have some good athletes. We have some good athletes. There have been some great plays in the first half.
Now, offensively, it took a little bit to get going, but what's starting to work for you guys now?
Well, when number 1, Trey Thomas got open, and then they started doubling up and looking at him, and Trey Chapman found 25, Luther, coming across, and that's really opened us up. The young sophomore, number 25, had a real good half.
Now, defensively, how do you stop McVay, Bolas, that whole little group over there that's been able to run on you? Not necessarily score a lot, but able to run.
They're moving the ball very well, but the goal is to keep them out of the end zone, Amanda.
All right, Coach, good luck next half. Back to you guys.
All right, Amanda, we always enjoy hearing from John Nemec. 28 years of high school football coaching, sideline veteran, and trying to move on with his Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. Trayvon Chapman to Trey Thomas that gave him a lead. Chapman has put all of his outstanding talents on display. Halftime coming up on STO. We're tied at 13. Don't go away. Halftime at Hudson Memorial Stadium, exactly as advertised. The number 2 seed, Kent Roosevelt, the number 3 seed, Aurora. Both of them very formidable here in the Division II playoffs. We're in the regional semifinal round here in the second week of the playoffs. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh and Amanda Turk, 13 apiece. As we, of course, know you've enjoyed this first 24 minutes of football. And Ryan, we advertised it as the outstanding run game, so formidable that averages almost 270 yards per game by Aurora and Kent Roosevelt's pass game with Trayvon Chapman, and that's exactly what we've gotten. No doubt about that.
Certainly. And, the first drive was indicative. I was sitting here saying, whoa, is this Aurora team going to run away with it? 3 plays, all runs, Jake McVeigh, long touchdown run, and I almost expected to see that the rest of the half. But to credit the Kent Roosevelt defense, they stood up. They manned up front on the defensive line and held them. No
doubt they did. All right, let's take a look at Jake McVeigh and this exceptional first half he has had tonight. And we talked about how very much of a mindset this offensive line had, but McVeigh got them going early on.
Well, that's where he was dangerous. He was in the open field, and you have the entire green men blocking. First drive right off the bat, as we mentioned. And real quick, look how elusive he is, a real tough runner, always moving forward. And, of course, the screen pass, which he scored on. Here's a little pitch action, making people miss behind the line of scrimmage. That's what McVeigh is so good at. And here he is keeping the play alive here. This was a 29-yard reception deep on their own end, which got them out and kept that drive going. And then, of course, we're going to see the touchdown here on the throwback to Jake McVeigh. Blocking downfield, Smirzak, and here you go, Jake McVeigh. Second touchdown. Look at those numbers, 70 receiving, 61 rushing. And, a lot of those receiving were on that screen pass. You can almost call a screen pass a run play, right?
Yeah, it's an extended handoff.
Right.
And most productive the entire, all the weapons, George Bolus, Zach Quinn, Jake McVeigh, that head coach Bob Mahalik has at his disposal. Hope you're enjoying our Wayside Furniture halftime report. Wayside, bringing it your way. Better furniture and price lower. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh. All right, let's flip it over now and take a look at Kent Roosevelt's Rough Riders. And Trayvon Chapman, as we said, we billed him exactly how he stands stature-wise, a Mr. Ohio football candidate, and he has had a brilliant first half.
Right, well, the rushing attack comes from Chapman, the passing attack comes from Chapman. And when plays break down coverage or pressure, Trey Chapman has been able to do it with his feet to keep plays alive. As you see right here, there's been 41 plays run offensively by Kent Roosevelt, 16 rushes by Trey Chapman, and 25 passes by Trayvon Chapman. So what we expected coming in was Trey Chapman was going to have his hand in all the plays, and literally he's had his hand in all the plays.
A bona fide Mr. Ohio football candidate as the playoffs put the talents of a Trayvon Chapman on display. All right, we through the month of November see all of the courage and how high school football is exemplified through all the young men that play it here in the state of Ohio. When you talk about being courageous and with an outstanding outlook on one's future, let's go down on the field here at Hudson Memorial Stadium as Amanda Turk is joined by a young man that truly exemplifies that will always wear the colors of Kent Roosevelt very close to his side. Amanda, go ahead.
Thanks, Michael. Ryan Anderson's a name in Kent that a lot of people know. As a junior, he played football and was outstanding, receiving multiple letters from Division I schools and was ranked among the best in the state. But in April of 2011, people learned his name for a different reason. What started as persistent knee pain, something that isn't necessarily uncommon in athletes, turned into his worst nightmare. Ryan was told he had a rare form of bone cancer and he would never be able to play football again. After months of tests and treatment, he's now cancer-free, and he joins me now. Ryan, take me back to the day you started having knee pain and the few weeks that followed.
Well, it was definitely a trying time, not only for me, but for everybody else. It was a time where, everybody else was affected. I had hopes and dreams. Everybody had those dreams for me too, So it was hard for the team, it was hard for the school, it was hard for my family, it was hard for myself, but thankfully everybody was strong enough and strong with me, and they really did get me through it.
Now, when you hear you're not allowed to play football ever again, what's your first thought? You're in high school, you're getting looked at by all these Division I colleges. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, well, it's tough just because ever since I was a little kid, you know, I wanted to play football. You know, it's what I've been working at my whole life, you know. And God gave me a big body and athletic body, you know, and it was tough, but living's a lot more important than playing football any day for anybody, you know. So I really felt that if I could pull through, you know, football, I always feel football ends sometime for anybody, you know, but we always have to just keep on living, you know. And that's really the mindset I kept in.
Now, with your football team, you know, they're kind of like your second family. How were you able to tell them, and how were you able to help them?
Yeah, it was really tough telling them. I started off when I first found out I had a tumor. I only told my two closest friends, you know, and it was tough. Just because I didn't feel like I was letting them down, you know, but no, I was putting them through a tough time, you know. And you know, everybody rallied behind me, including our city and even the cities around us, like Ravenna. You know, Kent-Ravenna is one of the biggest rivalries in Ohio, and they had the hard enough to do a fundraiser for me. You know, so it doesn't even come down to my team really. It comes down to, you know, football, because it really is a fraternity. You know.
Now, Ryan, you're very close with Coach Nemec, and he happens to be very close with Coach Tressel as well. Tell me about that relationship that developed there and the surprise that he sent you one day.
Yeah. Well, Coach Tressel and Ohio State, they were recruiting me obviously through my football career, and when I got diagnosed, Coach Nemec reached out to Ohio State and Jim Tressel, and the whole team sent me letters, personal letters written from every coach, every player. And really, when all the other teams that had either offered me or were recruiting me, they never called a single time after I got sick, you know. And just to have somebody as prestigious as Ohio State reach out, you know, they're a big school, and just to have them reach out, you know, it really did help and really motivated me a lot. Just because when they don't need to care about me, you know, but just the fact that they did really meant a lot.
Now, you had months of intense treatment, chemotherapy. What was the feeling when you were told that you were cancer-free?
You know, it was just a big relief, because I had been fighting for 9 months with chemo and surgery and hard times, and just to be on December, I think it was December 22nd, you know, a couple days before Christmas, you know, it was the best gift I could have gotten, you know, because it really is a tough time just with the pains and the suffering, you know, being sick and being away from everybody, because I missed the fourth grading period in the first semester of my senior year, you know. So it's tough not being away or not being with everybody, you know. So, you know, it was definitely one of the greatest days, walking out of that hospital and looking back, and you know, I was done, I was finished, and you know, I get to live on.
Now, you graduated in the spring, but you came back and you've been here with them all week. What advice did you give them, and how do you think they've done so far in the first half?
You know, we got here last year, and, you know, we made history getting to the second round, you know, and this team's not content. And that's really what I wanted them to focus on was getting to the top, you know. We got here, what, three out of 4 last years, and it's just, it's comfortable with us now, you know, and we just need to take them to those next steps. You know, we need to play together. We play together, work together, and just keep throwing punches. You know, we can get through it.
Ryan, thank you so much for joining us today. You're truly, truly inspirational. And good luck with everything throughout the rest of your life.
Thank you. Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
All right, Amanda, we appreciate that. And Ryan and I had a chance to spend about 15 minutes at practice on Wednesday with Kent Roosevelt's Ryan Anderson and Ryan Cavanaugh. The thing that, as we take a look at him again, the young man, Division I, West Virginia, Pitt, Michigan State among those that, but his outlook and how inspirational he is, and for him to have this kind of go forward about him in terms of not making it about woe is me, you know, it truly was gripping when we chatted with him.
A touching story, and he echoed the same thing he just told Amanda, which was the permanency of life compared to football. And he knew, and he had a very good grasp on, there was a lot that I could have done with this sport, but there's a lot more I can do with my life going forward. And between that and hearing Coach Nemec tell the story and seeing him getting choked up, and he's probably told that story 100 times, and every time it's as if he was reliving it. Just from player to coach to the rest of the team, and for him to come back on a Wednesday to see his team practice shows how close-knit this group of guys is. And my last point on that, I talked about being excited. Look, I graduated last year. This is still my team.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt about that as he is with them. I asked him about possible coaching in his future, and I don't know about that, but he certainly was moved, too, by the outpouring from the Ohio State football program that Jim Tressel orchestrated. Ryan Anderson, keep an eye on him, a profile encouraged to be sure. Best to your world, young man. We're tied at 13 at the half. More Wayside Furniture halftime report coming up. We welcome you back. Wayside Furniture halftime report here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. Great to have you with us tonight on Sports Time Ohio, weekend number 2 of the OHSAA high school playoffs. Of course, you're home for all of the action. Football just being one of the sports that championships are decided. You see it all here on Sports Time Ohio. With Ryan Cavanaugh and Amanda Turk, I'm Michael Reghi. Let's take a look at all the pertinent numbers from the first 24 minutes of football. And no surprise, the rush yards heavily skewed to Bob Mahalick's Aurora Green Men. The pass yards dominated by John Nemec's Riders of Kent Roosevelt.
What stands out to me is on third down conversions, Aurora's 4 of 5. Kent Roosevelt only 1 of 9, then take a step lower. 3 of 4 for Kent Roosevelt on fourth down. What that tells me is Coach Nemec is not afraid to leave it all out there on the field today, and his team is responding.
And he got tremendous work with a 43-yard and then a 34-yard field goal, a pair of them from Jose Roca, as they had leads of 13-6 before the second touchdown of Jake McVeigh in the opening half tied it up. 13-13, Aurora, Kent Roosevelt. Good one going on, the regional semifinals. We're back to Hudson in a moment. Back at Hudson Memorial Stadium, we are tied at 13 apiece. Outstanding first 24 minutes of football. I cannot amplify that enough for you as the third-seeded Green Men of Aurora try to advance, as do the second-seeded Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. Michael Reghi with Ryan Cavanaugh. Now, tomorrow night here on Sports Time Ohio, our pals Mike Cairns and Greg Fry are going to have a good one that you're going to want to hone in on. Tune in at 7 o'clock as they'll kick it off as the number 1 seed and the top-ranked team in the state of Ohio in Division I. The Eagles of St. Ed's will tangle with those Mentor Cardinals, which should be an offensive absolute treat for everybody.
Everybody knows about Mitch Trubisky, the North Carolina recruit, but Ryan Fallon and St. Ed's has become quite the offensive juggernaut themselves. Scoreboard operator better be getting a good night's sleep tonight because they're going to light it up tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And also you will see St. Ignatius and North Royalton as well, and we'll have reports on that one as well tomorrow evening during the Mentor St. Ed game.
2 other great Division I teams, Ignatius, North Royalton with their first win under Coach Chuli. Let's see if they can catch lightning again this week and knock off St. Ignatius.
Should be a lot of fun. Mentor, St. Edward, 2 of the top in the state of Ohio, and with look-ins on St. Ignatius and North Royalton. That's what you get on a Saturday night here on Sports Time Ohio. Back with the second half in a moment. Aurora and Kent Roosevelt tied at 13 apiece. Before we start the third quarter, let's send it down to Amanda Turk as she's joined by the ultra-successful head coach at Aurora, Bob Mahalick. Amanda.
Coach, it's been an incredibly physical first half, and I think it wasn't lost on you there when you guys scored that touchdown. What were you so upset about?
Well, it's a physical game, and there's some late hits on both sides of the ball. We told our kids they just need to keep their composure, and we hope the referees just make sure everyone does. That happens in high school football, and we just got to have a clean second half.
Defensively, how do you stop Trayvon Chapman?
We're trying to mix up our looks, and I think we've done a pretty good job, to be honest with you. We've held them to 13 points, and we're a little disappointed they've done a good job shutting down our power run game. We lost one of our tight ends early in the first half, so we got to bounce back and find a way to move the ball.
All right, Coach, good luck this half. Thank you very much. Guys, back to you.
All right, Amanda, appreciate that. I believe what caused, the initial response from Bob Mahalik was on the screen to Jake McVeigh that went for a touchdown right there. That hit. Ryan may be, about 5 yards deep in the end zone from Grant Mercer, the senior DB of Kent Roosevelt.
Yeah, for Coach Mahalik, his player's in the end zone. There's no need to hit him. In defense of Grant Mercer, you play to the whistle.
Yeah.
He's making a play to keep him out of the end zone. You get in there, and sometimes those collisions happen.
I guess it wasn't malicious, or I don't think with any intent. And Mercer again is, but Bob Mahalik also in the right to be able to bring it to the attention of.
Well, and certainly he's out there protecting his own players.
All right, let's start this quarter number 3 as Aurora will get their hands on the football to start it, as not able to make the return out of the end zone for the Green Men is Kirk Janik. So let's bring out again George Bolus. Bolus did an exceptional job, although you just heard Bob Mahalik say that he gave, and here's Mahalik with his quarterback, he gave credit to an undersized and somewhat smallish front seven of Kent Roosevelt that he felt did a very good job against their power run game.
And that's what he called power run game, triple I. And so far out of McVeigh and Quinn, who we featured in the open, it's been Bolus leading the way with 80 yards. And a lot of that has been off the option keep.
All right, McVeigh and Quinn offset, and this is Zach Quinn on that first carry. Quinn off that left side battles his way for 6, bring up 2nd and 4. All right, let's head over to Mentor and check in with Will Ewick. Will?
Well, thanks, guys. Chardon's ground game continues his success. He's in from 4 yards, Murr, that is. For the Bombers answer right back, Richardson with a 73-yard touchdown strike. Chardon adds a field goal. We have 27-15, 9:55 left in the game here. Back to you.
All right, Will, thank you very much. Chardon with that 27-15 lead in quarter number 4. That second down option pitch went to Jake McVeigh. McVeigh got tracked down with a flag, block in the back.
10 yards, replay, second down.
Is going to back up the Aurora offense.
Look at the option. Look for number 52 right here, which stretches the play out. That's Michael Bush, and here's the block in the back. Once again, Groh, Matt Summers stepping up, the big middle linebacker. But Brandon Groh has been all over the field defensively. Hasn't gotten a lot of run, a lot of carries offensively, but he has been the standout so far for the Rough Rider defense. There he is drawing that penalty by being in position to make the play defensively.
And that was the outstanding wideout, Jake Zerwinski, who got flagged there. Bolus to throw, pressure coming, sack time. Kent Roosevelt, as on that hit was Drew Gallagher. Gallagher, who is one of the backup nose tackles in on that stop.
Gallagher just blows through free. The up back misses him here, just missed. That's a blown assignment. And look at the sophomore just come free. Right there, Quinn has got to pick him up, and Gallagher comes in untouched. That's not a good sign when Bolus turns around and he's got a 250-pound man in front of him. And big sack. 3rd and long from inside the 10-yard line for Aurora.
On 3rd and 23, George Bolus will keep the football. Bolus continues to run hard. And he's going to come up about 8 yards shy of being able to keep the drive alive. And Aurora is going to have to punt the football away here early 3rd quarter.
And look who makes the play here. Grant Mercer, 31, but the quarterback, Trayvon Chapman, comes up and helps out on that tackle. He's going to play some in the nickel package for a sure passing situation. When they feel that Aurora's going to pass, Trayvon Chapman will come in the game, as he did right there. And I believe Chapman stays in the game to go deep for the punt return along with Trey Thomas.
Zach Quinn will hit it from his own 15-yard line, and this is Trey Thomas with a return opportunity for the 42. Thomas, good move. Trey Thomas, 23 yards on that punt return to set up Kent Roosevelt in outstanding operating position from the 35-yard line of Aurora, trying to do something about this 13-13 stalemate.
I think Trey Chapman wants to win this football game. You saw him make a tackle on defense on Bolus on 3rd down, and then steps up on the punt as Trey Thomas gets it, and he is the lead blocker, springing Thomas for that return into Aurora territory.
All right, high school football fans, join the conversation on Twitter. Use hashtag O-H-Champs to tweet with us during tonight's telecast. Cavanaugh is all over it.
Yeah, tweet. I'll get right back at you.
Trayvon Chapman going to come underneath, and that throw is caught by Trey Thomas. That's a 6-yard pitch and catch on 1st down from the 2 senior standouts, Chapman and Thomas.
Yeah, that side of the Twins, they ran a curl and a flat route, and Trey Thomas ran a drag across. And you'll see Thomas right there, number 1. This is an easy throw right in front of him. Look at how smooth Trey Thomas is. Ball a little behind him, never breaks stride, sure, catches it with his hands, which is what you're supposed to do, and gets upfield.
Came in it tonight with 62 catches for over 1,100 yards, and those 5 to it in the touchdown. And averaging 18 yards of reception on this senior season of his. Trayvon Chapman again. He got picked off. Intercepted by Zach Smurzak. Smurzak inside the 20. Zach Smurzak, touchdown. INT, pick 6 for Aurora. 75-yard touchdown return.
And Trayvon Chapman is going to want to have this one back at the end of the game. He threw this football right into Zach Smurzak. Chapman knows it. He had a running back in the flat and a curl over top, and he threw it right at the defender in between 2 players. And how about the athletic ability of Zach Smurzak? Get up and go. Nice catch, and then takes it the opposite direction, up the opposite sideline. 75-yard touchdown interception return.
How about that for a sudden change? Big play is looking to add the PAT is Joey Melchiori. Zach Smurzak will play for the Miami Redhawks. His 5th interception of the year, and he housed it. Pick 6 from 75 yards away. Aurora strikes first, early 3rd. 20-13 lead for the Green Men. Tonight's high school playoff game is brought to you by Time Warner Cable Sports Channel. Hometown teams, big-time coverage. Also by Ohio University. Big your path to promise at Ohio University. Visit us at ohio.edu/promise. And by Duct Tape. Make sure you get the duct to do it. Zach Smurzak just did it. 75 yards worth at pick 6. There he is. Good look at the 6'3", 225-pound senior I mentioned. Leads his team, Aurora, in tackles defensively. Also in sacks, tackles for loss, and that his 5th pick of the year, Ryan Cavanaugh. And that pick 6, we talk about sudden change. That is with an exclamation point behind the sudden change.
Sure. Well, 5 interceptions, leading the team from an outside linebacker position. You saw a lot of what Miami likes in this kid, to have the athletic ability against a talented offense to take it opposite direction, opposite field, up the sideline, and 75 yards. I was tired watching him run that far, Michael.
All right, now how will the Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt respond on that kickoff return? As Brandon Groh. And now we'll see what about Trayvon Chapman virtually just threw the football right to Zach Smurzak.
There was a receiver open in the flat. Quite frankly, I don't know who that ball was intended for. The only person in the area was Schmerzak. And it went right to him. I have no explanation for what Chapman was looking at, but I will tell you this, Michael.
Zach Janis was on a level behind him on a crossing route. But
yeah, well, he's got to be a good quarterback here and have a very short memory.
Start out with a bubble screen and put it in the hands of Cardell Jackson, the 175-pound junior on the grab. Jackson got 6 on the hookup with Trayvon Chapman. 2nd and 4, Kent Roosevelt.
How about the arm strength? Getting that ball out there in a hurry to Cardell Jackson. And I like the play call. Again, off an interception. Let's start rebuilding that confidence of Trey Chapman. But again, the level of play he plays at, you know, you have to have a short memory, and you have to come back and say, look, I let them have 6. Now I got to go get it back.
Trailing 2013, Chapman got to get on that football, trying to stay alive, and Chapman is taken down. That football very precariously on the ground. That's a 15-yard loss as Trayvon Chapman had to get on an errant snap.
Yeah, this is just a bad snap by Boehner. And Chapman, look at the athletic ability. Breaking tackles, and Zach Quinn, that's a tough tackle to break as he comes and cleans him up.
Nick Groth had a shot at him, the strong senior defensive tackle for Aurora, but well behind the sticks now. Trayvon Chapman, 3rd down and 21. The line to make is out at the 36-yard line, and we've got flags from the side judge. Illegal motion is going to make it 3rd and 26 on Kent Roosevelt.
And an
On the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Interesting defensive adjustment on this 3rd and long, Michael. They took Zach Quinn and put him over top of Trey Thomas. So they're using their 2 big athletic defensive players, Schmerzak and Quinn, to stay on top of the smaller Trey Thomas and kind of beat him up, make life difficult for him.
They've done an excellent job, the Aurora front. Chapman's got to step up, got hit as he threw. That battle for the football as it'll fall incomplete as Zach Janis tried to go up and make a play for Trayvon Chapman. That's a 3 and out, and Kent Roosevelt must punt the football away.
Frank Civillo does a nice job here. And at one point, I think both Civillo and Janis are playing defense, just trying to knock this ball down as he clearly was hit. Good job by Frank Civillo, getting the hand in there, knocking it down.
Jose Roca to punt this football away. Let's see if he gets a roll on the end of it. Not a bad job from Roca, keeping it away from Frank Civillo. That's a 41-yard boot from Jose Roca, who has been a big part of this Kent Roosevelt squad tonight. Hey, tomorrow you're going to want to be with us here on Sports Time Ohio. We're your home for Mid-American Conference football. Kent State, Darrell Hazel's club. Wow, they've been tremendous this year. Only one loss. They try to maintain control of their Eastern Division lead when they traveled Oxford to face Miami's Red Hawks and quarterback Zach Dyson. Matt Underwood, Frank Stams on the call. Kent State, Miami, Saturday afternoon at 1 here on Sports Time Ohio. Toss sweep, and this is Jake McVay looking for a block. McVay again, still battling. Oh, McVay, what a talented and powerful, tough senior runner as McVay took that toss sweep and bowled his way down to the 29-yard line of Kent Roosevelt.
Look at the blocking here by Kirk Janik, number 5, standing up grow. And then this is individual effort, Michael. Balance, staying in bounds, knowing where the sideline is, and then carrying tacklers. As I mentioned, he's much more quick and agile, lower center of gravity than Quinn, but
it's coming back to all for naught. It was a 23-yard tote of the football by Jake McVay. Well, he's been very impressive tonight, but not going to work as a motion penalty will cost Aurora 5, so they're looking at now 1st and 15. And wipe away that McVay run.
Yeah, he said, you know, you could have blew that whistle dead before I did all that.
Yeah, sure. motion across that formation. Go right back to the ground game with big Zach Quinn. Well, Quinn, the 225-pound fullback, tailback, outstanding ball carrier, got met by Matt Summers. That's a battle when Summers and Quinn hit each other.
You know, knowing Matt Campbell up at Toledo, those could be two future teammates if he had his say.
Yeah, no question about that.
Very similar type players, hard-nosed, love the game of football, and that's the type of player that Campbell up at Toledo likes to go get.
Campbell's Toledo Rockets having an outstanding year in the MAC. Bolus off play action. Bolus has got to dump off, and he found Zach Quinn and made the grab. Battled his way for a first down, very close to it. Might be a bit shy. Didn't get the spot that maybe I thought they were going to get. It's going to bring up a third down and short. 11-yard pitch and catch. Bolus to Quinn. Let's listen to the pads pop here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. You want to play the game, huh? All right. Got to be ready to take some licks. Jake McVeigh got the first down as he powers his way off the left side down to the 34-yard line. McVeigh got 9 on a third and short. And right now, how big would this be? Aurora up by 7. We approach the 5-minute mark of the third quarter. They put 7 more on the board here to go up 14. Kent Roosevelt is going to be behind it in a tough way.
Well, more than one. Look at the rushing yards being dominated as Bowles keeps it on the option here.
Ran option right. Did indeed keep the football. Got planted at the 29-yard line, but you know that's 5 more on first down.
And again, stay ahead of the chains. Get 5 yards, brings up a 2nd and 5. And this is Aurora Greenman football. We can keep it on the ground. We can continue to pound them.
219 yards of run game offense with the ground game. They average 266 now through 11 football games coming in here. 10-win football team, and this is who they are and what their identity is. Toss sweep McVeigh. Got a block from Quinn. Got stood up, though. An outstanding hit by Matt Summers, that middle linebacker.
Watch Matt Summers. You're going to see him come into the screen. Watch him fill the hole here. Nice kick out as by Quinn, and then boom, here comes Summers coming off of a block. And he doesn't have much give, does he, Reghi?
No, he does not. No, he does not.
It's like running into a wall right there. As I mentioned, one of the team leaders, only a junior, but Coach says the most mature kid on his team.
Well, let's call it 3rd and 2, and again, out of that stacked eye, Zach Quinn got the first down as he powered behind his center, Jack Bruder, the 200-pound senior, and Jeff Moniz, the 230-pound guard who wears number 70. This offensive line has had a tremendous year, according to Bob Mahalik.
Yeah, you see Brett Rogers, also number 47. The fullback getting a kick-out block. But that's the kind of push you want up front, especially in 3rd and short yardage. You know we're going to run the football, and we're still going to get the offensive line pushing you backwards.
First down call goes to Zach Quinn. Quinn will get a push. Got 4 more down to the 17 to bring up 2nd and 6. And on that hit was Austin Mastrioni. Wears number 75 for Kent Roosevelt. He's had a very good football game, too, and aggressively on that D-line.
Sure has both him and Gallagher in the middle, and Stanley Zalewski, a backup tackle that they've brought in, a 235-pounder, to give more weight up front. And take a look at those rushing numbers. Bolus, McVeigh, and Quinn all doing their part. Quinn with the tough yards inside, and Bolus outside. McVeigh everywhere.
On 2nd and 6, got to give the football for the 2nd time tonight to Brett Rogers.
I think that's that second half sugar we were talking about, Michael.
Yeah, he got one morsel in the first half. Now he just got his 2nd lump of sugar here and now. That might be it for the night. Brett, I hope you enjoyed it. Now go back to crushing people.
Yep.
Right? Without the ball.
Well, at least he's got the shirt down. When we saw him in practice
That's
this
right.
week, it was about 20 degrees out. He's
Yeah.
got the belly out, letting people know I can't feel this cold.
Tough guy. 3rd down and 4. Run that counter now with the Kirk Jenick. And Jenick got taken down. Oh, that's a big-time hit off that corner again from Brandon Groh. We've called Groh's name so many times in making plays out on the edge defensively.
Yep, look at Jenick bounce it out, and here comes Groh. Open field tackle, very sure tackle, and that is a huge play on 3rd and short. Brings up 4th and 10, and it's decision time for Aurora. Do they bring out Joey Melchiori to try to add to their lead, or are they going to go for it?
Remember, they connected on a 4th and 13 from deep in their own territory. This is 4th down and 10. The line to make is at the 12-yard line. Bolus to put it up. He'll come underneath. That is caught by the tight end, Zach Smurzak, but he's not going to get to the first down. Sticks. Big stop in a 7-point football game for the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders. Kent Roosevelt gets their stop. They've got the football as they repel Bob Mahalick's Aurora offense. 20-13, Aurora by 7. Kent Roosevelt with the ball when we. (2013) Aurora on top of Kent Roosevelt. Glad you're with us in this Division II regional semifinal. Michael Reghi, Ryan Cavanaugh, and Amanda Turk. Along with our producer Gene Winters. All of our terrific crew. John Scrotta, our director. Guys, gals, great stuff. Showing us the good pictures and the excellent sounds from here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. That first down throw is caught. Trayvon Chapman on that quick out to you-know-who, Trey Thomas, one of the most outstanding receivers we have in the state of Ohio. That bottom line.
Yeah, a guy that Kent State, among other MAC schools, is looking at. And again, they have Zach Quinn out over top of him, but a guy with his speed and quickness, just a quick out, and Trey Chapman puts it right where it's supposed to be. 7-yard pickup. They know they've got some work to do here, Reghi, and that's how you start it.
Down by 7 as we're inside the 30-second mark. Come right back on the quick out to Trey Thomas. Thomas maybe got a yard, and it's going to bring up 3rd down and 3.
And Trey Thomas is favoring that right shoulder. You see the black brace around the bicep coming off of a bit of a shoulder injury. And you see him shaking out that right arm. So far, it has not affected him as far as catching the football. But you know, that was a short side of the field. They're on the near hash. They threw a speed out from the slot.
Quarter over as Kent Roosevelt, and Ryan only 1 of 10 on 3rd down. So see the Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders putting up those 4 fingers. We'll see. Aurora with a 7-point 2013 lead. We head to the 4th with Kent Roosevelt facing a 3rd and short. That might be the biggest play of the football game through the first 36 minutes. Zach Smurzak's 75-yard pick 6. Interception return that broke a 13-13 tie. Let's start quarter number 4. Michael Reghi, Ryan Cavanaugh, Amanda Turk. Know you're enjoying it. Big play here. 3rd and 2 for Trayvon Chapman. Chapman will run the football with his tail back. Brandon Gross out over the 45-yard line. There's the run game, really, for the first time tonight on 3rd and 2. 24-yard jaunt from Zach Gross.
And the first play for Kent Roosevelt where Trayvon Chapman has not thrown or kept the football. Look at Brandon Groh. Love that little bounce step there. Gets past Frank Civillo for extra yardage. Brandon Groh, He's so underrated and underestimated in this offense because of Chapman and Thomas, but the guy has skills.
Has averaged, has Brandon Grow over 5 a carry. Look at that rifle shot into the hands of Luther Fortson. Fortson inside the 20 to the 16-yard line. That quick slant from Trayvon Chapman. 38 yards to Luther Fortson, who's had a big night catching the football.
This is the middle of the field I've been asking for them to find all day. Quick slant to the sophomore, the person that Coach Nemec singled out at halftime as a guy who's having a big day, and that big day continues in the second half. This is where Kent Roosevelt is dangerous offensively. They are now in the rhythm, and Trey Chapman's found his rhythm.
Back to the ground game with Brandon Grow and the 165-pound senior. Angled his way off the left side. Give Grow 3 to bring up 2nd and 7.
Even though 3 yards, good yardage on the first down play. But I like the aspect in making Aurora pack some more people up in the box. Now that we've shown them a threat, we can run Brandon Grow between the tackles, and you, Aurora, have to respect that. I like the play call from Roosevelt.
Just starting quarter number 4. Don't go anywhere. Get your favorite beverage, maybe another sandwich, and get comfortable. We may be here a while. Trayvon Chapman fires, and it's out of the hands of Luther Fortson, as Fortson, the sophomore, was running that out toward the boundary.
How about this coverage? First of all, nice pass on the run, right where it needs to be. And that's some great coverage by Jake McVeigh. Fortson, that's a tough catch, but Fortson's got to bring that one in. Sophomore, senior, junior, you catch that ball, Luther.
Sunday here on Sports Time Ohio. Tune in for the OHSAA Volleyball Championships. All 4 division titles starting at noon. Volleyball Championship Sunday here on Sports Time Ohio. Trayvon Chapman will swing it out, put it in the hands of Brandon Grow, and Grow got cut down by Frank Savillo. Savillo wears number 9, made that hit along with Brett Rogers on Brandon Grow.
Get a good look at Brett Rogers. We spoke about his weightlifting acumen, and he also has a great ability to run the field, sees the field very well. They put him over the nose in certain situations, and a stand-up guy, player who can play with his hand on the ground or standing up, coming off the edge.
Down by 7 on 4th and 8. That throw from Chapman is broken up. It was broken up by Nick Sotka, as Sotka dropped off that inside linebacker, and watch him, number 50.
That's a great awareness by Sotka. Look at that. Nice. Now the linebacker's like, I could have picked that off. I had that one. And that may have been a touchdown saving catch. Trey Chapman got that inside on Quinn, had him beat, and Sotka, Johnny in the spot. Nice play.
So on back-to-back possessions, Ryan, both football teams have turned the ball over now on downs in the red zone.
Right. Yes.
Kent Roosevelt got the stop in Aurora. Now Chapman's got him in the red zone, and they come up wanting on 4th and 9.
That's a great point. Leaving points on the board.
Yeah. So give it back to Aurora. Inside 10 minutes left. Toss sweep, and this is Jake McVeigh. Oh, no. Look at that defensive play. Lot of red hats. The Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt on that stop. I think the first there might have been Grant Mercer and Corey Spicer. Is it Spicer? It's Grant Mercer.
You're right, Mike.
Yeah,
Grant
it was Mercer who came up from that strong safety spot.
Look at Grant Mercer absolutely refusing to let go of the jersey. And then Robert Moore, cornerback, comes in and helps out there at the end. That's team, but that's how you have to tackle the Aurora Greenmen. You got to get one guy to hold him, and then the rest of the red jerseys get on the ball carrier.
The loss of 6, the motion. Kirk Janik now. Go back to Jake McVeigh. McVeigh running tough and got a couple. It's going to bring up 3rd and long as McVeigh got cut down. As small as they are, after McVeigh and Quinn in the first couple of, I've been pretty impressed, Ryan. How about you with the way that Kent Roosevelt has handled the powerful run game of Aurora?
Very impressed and very active up front. There is a significant size advantage, but they're not allowing themselves to be pushed around. Corey Spicer there doing some different things, getting some angles and using leverage to get underneath the big Aurora Greenmen offensive line.
Aurora 6 of 9 on 3rd down opportunities on 3rd and 13. Bolus going to come underneath. He's got Zach Quinn. Quinn trying to power his way. He needed to get to the 25. Needed to get to the 25, and Quinn picked up the first down. On 3rd and 11, he got 14. Moved the chains for Aurora.
This is play action, and Quinn, as the fullback, slipped out. That's an advantage of having such an athletic, big player. He can block as a fullback, and he can also leak out and be a dangerous pass catcher. And Quinn only came into this game with 5 receptions, no touchdowns through the air.
That is a big 3rd down convert on 3rd and long to keep a drive alive. That clock is moving as we'll get inside the 8-minute mark now as this drive continues. Go right back to the ground game. Zach Quinn following the block of his right guard Jeff Monas and his right tackle, the sophomore Brandon Zamory. Quinn got 3 to bring up 2nd and 7. Tyler Carlton made the hit for Kent Roosevelt.
Well, Kent certainly is not going to sit back on its heels and let Aurora push them around. They brought Summers on the blitz, but that time opposite of the play side. And I don't know if Bolus is up there checking that, but certainly he should have that option to go opposite of where Summers is blitzing.
Well, both football teams, they expect to be in tight ones in the 4th quarter. They both won the first-round games late on the last 4th quarter drives. This is Zach Quinn. He's to the 2nd level. First down as he carried middle linebacker Matt Summers with him. That's 10 more yards for Zach Quinn as this formidable and very strong run game of Aurora continues to move.
Real tough offensive line play up front. Michael Bush doing a nice job of getting free, but arm tackles don't bring down Zach Quinn. That's a big boy running through, shedding their blocker. Corey Spicer also shed his blocker, and Quinn went the opposite way of him. So still fighting up front, hand fighting by Kent Roosevelt.
Quinn again on his 3rd consecutive carry. This time he got bottled up. First to arrive on that hit was Aaron Miller. Let's check in with our Will Ewick, who's taking a look at Chardon and Kenston in Mentor. Will.
Guys, the starting ground game continued in the 4th quarter. Quarterback TJ Beninati gets in for 10 yards, 34-15 final. We caught up with the head coach Mitch Hewitt. We'll have that in the postgame right now. Back to you.
Thank you, Will. So Chardon moves on with that 19-point win over Kenston, and they'll get the winner of this one. Stay with the ground game. That's Jake McVeigh, who's put a couple of touchdowns on the board tonight. McVeigh continues, but Ryan, with this, they're just leaning on that front 7 of Kent Roosevelt, and that clock continuing to move. Now we come inside the 6-minute mark on the next snap.
Marty Tinkler trying to get his guys going. What they need here is a play for negative yardage. They need to get, from their side, from their perspective, move the line of scrimmage backwards into the offensive backfield of the Aurora Greenmen.
On 3rd and 5, Bolus will run option right. McVeigh, he got cut down. Guess who? Brandon Grove. Oh, that young man has played spectacularly against the run on the corner for Kent Roosevelt.
That's a player. When he reads run, he comes up hard. And credit to Mercer taking Bolus out of the play, make him pitch it, and Grove comes up and makes the play. Exactly what I said they needed. Loss of yardage, forcing the hand of Aurora to punt.
Were you surprised after all the success tackle to tackle that Bob Mahalik, 3rd and 5, had tried to get to the edge there with the option game?
Not totally surprised, but I am surprised they went the way of Grove. They've had no success running outside towards Brandon Grove.
You are right about that. Zach Quinn to kick it away. Didn't get much of it. Came off the side of his foot and will angle out of bounds at the 30, make it the 40, make it the 43-yard line.
That's a
John Nemec with his football team down 20-13 will put it in the hands of Trayvon Chapman. Kent Roosevelt with the football when we get back. The emotions on both sidelines. What would you expect? I mean, regional semifinal, when you're playing in November, of course emotions are going to run high. 7-point football game, 4:51 left. As we were away in break, John Nemec was saying, this is the one we got to get. Kent Roosevelt Rough Riders, as he was imploring that young man, Trayvon Chapman, and his offense. Let's find out. Chapman will run quarterback draw, and he got belted by Zach Smerzak. Smerzak, the leading tackler on this football team, and Ryan Cavanaugh right now, that big number 14, he's the difference maker. He changed that 13-13 tie with his 75-yard pick six for Aurora.
Switch the culture of the game offensively for Kent Roosevelt. Finally made the big play with Chapman, but more importantly, the score, and that is the deciding factor up to this point.
That's second down and 8 now for Trayvon Chapman. Remember, he threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to Trey Thomas. He'll fire that strike. He's got Zach Janis inside the 40 to the 37-yard line. That in route for 18 yards and a first down. Chapman to Janis.
Well, Janis has not been targeted yet today, and Frank Civillo giving him a lot of cushion on the wide side there. The problem is they're in a cover 2, and the safety's playing 10, 12 yards off the ball. There is a huge open window there, and Chapman found Janis right in it.
Trayvon Chapman living for moments like this. Does he deliver? His first down throw is hauled in, caught by Trey Thomas, his 7th reception of the night. We a hit, 3:40 left with Kent Roosevelt on the move and down by 7.
That's a dangerous pass, very difficult to cover. You have Zach Quinn on the slot of Trey Thomas, and it's just a 5-and-out timing route, and Chapman is so accurate throwing that pass.
Aurora just rushing 3 with 8 in coverage, and that bubble screen almost got picked off, but the reason it did, intended for Zach Janis, that's going to be interference on Frank Civillo of Aurora. Wait a minute, Civillo is saying maybe not. Ooh, the Kent Roosevelt crowd right before us. Not in agreement with that. I thought it was going to be pass interference on Civillo, Ryan.
Yeah, what they tried to do is have Fortson block Civillo.
Yeah.
And then obviously have Zach Janis go right off that block, and Civillo was there to break it up. Behind the line of scrimmage was the pass.
It was great camera work too, guys. Excellent job as you saw that Luther Fortson was indeed trying to free up Zach Janis.
Same set, same play.
On 3rd and 6, wheel route. Broken up out of that secondary. It was intended for Luther Fortson, and Jake McVay playing free safety broke it up. 4th down and 6, 3:16 left. Trayvon Chapman and Kent Roosevelt down by 7.
That play works when the safety comes up and bites on it, and Schmerziak sat back.
This crowd is alive. Chapman on the roll right. He's going to keep the football. Chapman first down. Diving to the 26. Football came loose. Aurora's got the turnover. Jake McVay on the turnover. Fumble recovery for Aurora's green men.
Trayvon Chapman makes a move here to get the extra yardage, but look how carelessly he's holding the football. He's got to put that ball away, but that's a helmet right on there. That's Frank Civillo coming up, putting his hat on the football, jarring it loose. Jake McVay picks it up. Another turnover impacting the game here, and Kent Roosevelt has been the story of the second half. 2 costly turnovers. They've got 3 timeouts, Michael, and they've got to get a stop now, and Coach Tinkler's telling his team that.
First down call to Zach Quinn. This may be the capper. Quinn with speed. See you later. Touchdown. Zach Quinn, 77 yards to the house.
That's one way to put the game away. 14th rushing touchdown of the season for Zach Quinn. He's been the guy getting the tough yards through the middle, in between the tackles. Ken Roosevelt loaded up, put 7, 8 guys on the line. That meant there was nobody at the linebacker or safety level. And once Quinn broke through that first line, he was off to the races. The big man got his get up and go. 73-yard touchdown. That may just put this game away, Michael.
Joey Melchiori has added the PAT, a 77-yard lightning bolt from Zach Quinn as the offensive ground game just continues to ring up oh so impressive numbers. Aurora's lead is 14. Had a 13-13 tie in this second half, but first it was the pick six of Aurora's Zach Smerzak, and now the 77-yard. I called it a lightning bolt, and that's what it is too. As Zach Quinn, a part of this just continuance of what is a just historical night running the football for the Aurora Green men. All of 14 of their points, by the way, went off the turnovers here in the second half.
And only one offensive play. Smerzak had the 75-yard touchdown return after Sevilla causes the fumble that McVay recovers first play. You call it a lightning bolt. That's a big lightning bolt running down the field in Zach Quinn. But the big boy could move.
Showed his speed, didn't he?
Sure did.
He nice angle that was had by the cornerback Robert Moore, the junior of Ken Roosevelt, but he wasn't able to catch Zach Quinn.
Quinn said, if I get this far, I'm taking it all the way.
Trey Thomas, they'll reverse it to Trayvon Chapman. Chapman's in a whole lot of trouble. Chapman's still alive. Trayvon Chapman has come free. Wow, what a return to the 43-yard line. However, we've got a flag inside the 10. They reversed that on the kickoff return. Trey Chapman probably ran about, I'd say 90 yards during the course of that entire return.
This is going to be a first down catch.
We were one penalty flag and one tackle away from a highlight for the ages. They reversed it to Chapman, and then Chapman reverses himself. I have not seen there it was. There was the block right at the end. And look at Chapman actually fumbled the ball to himself, and right about here he's running out of steam. But that was, at this point, Coach Nemec's pulling out all the stops. You're down 2 scores. You got to get one on the board, and you got to get an onside kick.
They got Michael Bush, the junior offensive tackle. Here's a good look at John Nemec with his 222 career wins. He's been to the state playoffs 5 of the last 7 seasons. Started his career with 4 seasons at Wapakoneta on the west side of the state. Trayvon Chapman will hook up with Trey Thomas. Thomas got 8 yards. Let's go back and take a look at that touchdown drive summary. And Ryan Cavanaugh, it only took 1 play, but there's maybe the biggest play as a prelude to the drive. The Frank Savillo knock away of the football from Trayvon Chapman.
Yeah, and then 2 starts of the game. McVay recovers defensively, and then Quinn takes it 73 yards for that touchdown, which looks like might seal this victory.
Coming back alive, that quick shot from Chapman. Not handled by Luther Fortson as it falls incomplete, but that young sophomore, this young man is a sophomore, has had a real big night.
Yeah, this is the best game of the season for Luther so far, and you like to see that out of young guys, especially on the biggest stage, stepping up and making plays, and he's done that all night for Kent.
3rd down and 2. Chapman will gun that throw, and he's going to move the sticks with a first down as he was able to hook up with Zach Janis. Now let's check that. He got Brennan Boehner for the first time tonight. Boehner wears number 17. Boehner makes his first catch.
Well, he put that ball on a line to him, too.
Chapman will come right back to the sideline and he'll hook up again as he was able to connect for the 2nd straight throw to Brennan Boehner. Boehner with 9 receptions on the year does have a touchdown catch from that gentleman, Trayvon Chapman, who you'll see on Division I football stadiums next year, is a Pitt Panther. Chapman got away from pressure and threw it too tall for Trey Thomas.
Aurora clearly is in a a dime type look, an umbrella coverage, keeping everything underneath him, and they're still able to get pressure as Trey Chapman right there had to elude a pass rusher, be able to get that ball off.
Bob Mahalik decided that he was going to put 8 in coverage for most of this football game and rush only 3, and ask his standout Zach Quinn to spy Trey Chapman. And while they haven't completely shut down, as we've got a flag on that false start.
5 yards. Still third down.
On Roosevelt.
Haven't completely shut down Kent Roosevelt, but they've come up with big plays in the red zone to hold Trayvon Chapman to only the 1 touchdown throw.
And part of their defense was intended to take Trey Thomas out of the game. Let the other guys beat us, not the leading receiver, Trey Thomas. And outside of the 1 jump ball, they have limited him to quick strikeouts, receptions like that within 10 yards. They haven't let Trey Thomas make that big play that he's known for.
Zach Smearzak, the pick 6 interception guy, just broke up that throw intended for the tailback, Brandon Groves. This is going to bring up now 4th and 10, and this is going to be last opportunity time here for Trayvon Chapman and Kent Roosevelt. Got to pick it up here to have any hope, down by 14. And that's going to do it as Chapman's throw sails over the head, incomplete of Trey Thomas. And the celebration begins on that sideline of the Green Men of Aurora.
This score certainly will not be indicative of the hard-fought game going on here.
We'll be awarding our player of the game to you momentarily after this first down snap for the Green Men of Aurora, as John Nemec consoling his Rough Riders on his sideline. Zach Quinn with a call. Quinn will get dragged down after a short gain. Tonight's player of the game in this regional semifinal is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy better. And Ryan Cavanaugh, Jake McVeigh had a special night for the Aurora Green Men.
Here he was doing it on the ground, and this really got things started. Gave Aurora the early lead, and also receiving, catching the football, making a lot of people miss. And of course, let's not forget about his contributions defensively, including the fumble recovery, which led to the long run by Zach Quinn, which sealed the victory. But great choice here. There were quite a few people you could have counted on from Aurora, but Jake McVeigh, great choice for player of the game.
Exceptional performance by Jake McVeigh, Zach Quinn, George Bolus, and the rest of this offensive unit, and of the defense as well. But this offensive unit that took over 300 yards on the ground on Kent Roosevelt tonight.
That's something for the offensive linemen to be proud of. Anytime you're able to run for 200 at 250, that's impressive. 300 plus yards, that means you did your job, big men.
This will be our final snap and kneel down of the night. A most impressive regional semifinal win, and let's go ahead and move on and book this one to that gentleman, Bob Mahalik, and his Aurora Green Men, state champions in 2008, have come up short in their pursuit of another one. They're going to the regional finals next week as Bob Mahalik and John Nemec congratulate one another following the 27-13 win.
A lot of respect out of those two coaches. Coach Mahalik talked about it. They've been longtime friends. When Coach Mahalik took the job, he actually went to Coach John Nemec, sat at the foot of the Legends learning tree, learned the craft. This is the first time they've had the opportunity to play each other.
48 minutes of regional semifinal football now in the books. The third seed moves on Aurora's Green Men with a 27-13 win over the number 2 seeded Rough Riders of Kent Roosevelt. Ryan, the thing about this one tonight, as billed, as advertised, the phenomenal skills of the Jake McVeys, the Zach Quinns, and Trey Thomas, and Trayvon Chapman, rather, and just one of the type of, you just love seeing this kind of offensive talent. Let's go down. We'll talk about that more. Let's join in with Amanda Turk as she stands by with Bob Mahalik. Amanda?
Thanks, Michael. Coach, the second half you guys started out really tough defensively and kind of set the tone for the rest of the game.
You know, our kids all week, all they heard was Trayvon Chapman show, and rightly so. He's a heck of a player. But we held them to 1 touchdown. So, you know, the defense won the game tonight. Last week our offense picked up our defense. This week it was the other way around. So hats off to Coach Worthy, our defensive coordinator. He did a great job in containing Chapman.
Now, what specifically worked for you in containing him?
We were giving him different looks, different pressures, and different coverages, you know, and mixing things up. Didn't want him to get comfortable in any one thing. So, again, our kids did a great job all week getting ready, and they went out and prepared tonight.
Now, offensively, you said at halftime that they were doing a good job of being able to stop your run game, but you kind of stuck with it the second half. Why was that?
That's what we do, you know, and we're going to do what we do, and we were able to wear them down and put it away at the end.
Coach, you have Chardon next week in the regional finals. How cool is that?
It's cool. We'll worry about them starting tomorrow.
All right, Coach, go celebrate.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Okay, Amanda, good work tonight down on the sidelines here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. All right, Ryan Cavanaugh, let's take a look at Region 5 here in Division 2. We've got seed number 3, Aurora, and seed number 4, Chardon, in that regional final next Friday night. Site will be determined over the weekend, but you know, something feels to us about this Aurora program that you know, they've got a shot to play 3 more weeks potentially.
Well, it certainly seems like it, but let's not sleep on Chardon. And for fans out there who like watching teams run the football, you've got Aurora, who we just saw hang 300 plus, and you've got the single wing of Chardon led by their quarterback TJ Beninati. That, my friends, is going to be a display of running the football.
Be a lot of fun. Chardon beats Kenston tonight, 34-15 in Mentoring here in Hudson. Aurora behind that devastating ground game of a 27-13 win over Kent Roosevelt. We'll be back with more. Don't go away on Sports Time Ohio. Behind the devastatingly powerful ground game, the Green Men of Aurora move on. They've won their second here in the month of November and moving to the regional finals next week. Aurora beats Kent Roosevelt 27-13. Let's check in with Amanda Turk as she's with running back and free safety Jake McVeigh. Amanda?
Thanks, Michael. Jake, you got a little banged up in the first half. How are you feeling right now?
Real sore. I'm going to feel it tomorrow. They're a great team, and I'm going to feel it tomorrow. Real sore.
Now, you guys offensively, you got stuffed a little bit, but you had some really big gains, too. Tell me about some of the holes you saw out there.
Our line did great. They've been working hard all week, and we knew we were going to come into the game with a lot of power and smash it down their throat, and we're a smash-mouth football team, and we proved it tonight.
Next week, you're playing regional finals against Chardon. What do you know about them, and are you excited?
All I know is they beat Kenston, and we play them next week.
All right, congratulations. Good luck next week and throughout the tournament. Guys, back to you.
All right, Amanda. Nice of you to be able to chat with Jake McVeigh, who, of course, was one of the explosive athletes, Ryan, that we saw. And McVeigh came up with that fumble recovery there after Frank Savillo got the football loose on Trayvon Chapman. And that was at 20-13 with about 3.5 left, and that pretty much sealed things tonight.
And it was when they were at the 30-yard line of Aurora. On that play, Trey Chapman had just got a first down. So you were looking at 1st and 10, marching into Aurora territory. Big hit by Seville. McVeigh recovers, and the rest, including that touchdown run by Quinn, is history.
Yeah, and the young man that will be a Toledo Rocket next year, who scored the game-winning touchdown in the first round last week as Aurora came back to beat New Philadelphia, had another exclamation point type of evening tonight That, of course, is the 225-pound senior running back, linebacker, Zach Quinn.
Well, Quinn came in as the leading rusher, over 800 yards, and he did it again tonight with 152 yards rushing. And so many of them, we're going to remember the long touchdown run, Michael, but so many of them were that sort of thing, pounding between the tackles. When you needed a big play, you went to Zach Quinn. That was a huge third down conversion. And then here, this is just him showing off the speed. I may be 220 and hit like a truck, but I've got the speed to go with it. Let's not forget about his contributions on defense. They had him spying Trayvon Chapman. They had him out in front playing man-to-man on Trey Thomas. That's an impressive all-around performance by a big-time player.
You're rolling, Ryan Cavanaugh. Let's keep you at work. Our game summary shows the 14-point Aurora win with so many contributors.
Well, a big part of it, we knew about McVay running, Zach Quinn, the interception by Zach Smerzak. Trayvon Chapman, 237 yards. They forced him to throw it 45 times. The number you don't see on there, 62 yards rushing in the first half and only 19 in the second half. In the first half, that was such a big part of their offense. When they needed big plays, Chapman would run for the yards, and Aurora took that away in the second half.
The powerful run game of Aurora trumps the explosive pass game of Trayvon Chapman and Kent Roosevelt on this night in the Division II regional semifinals. And sometimes that's the best thing about having a night like
Ladies and
our
gentlemen.
man Zach Smerzak had tonight. All right, let's shift gears and send it over to Mentor and check in with Will Hewitt, who stands by with head coach Mitch Hewitt of Chardon following the Chardon win over Kenston. Will, take it away.
Thanks, guys. Chardon victorious tonight, 34-15. I'm standing by with head coach Mitch Hewitt. Mitch, guys looked really good out there, ground and pound, working all night long. Even when they loaded the box, your run game still successful. What was the key to that?
Well, the nice thing is we got a senior-laden offensive line, and we got a bunch of weapons. We don't have one player that we need to make our offense work. We got a bunch of players, and we just, like we told them all week, we have no superstars. We don't have Division I players, but we got a bunch of guys with a lot of heart that are going to play 48 minute of hard football.
I know you want to enjoy this win, but it's either Kent Roosevelt or Aurora next. Where does this team go from now to get ready for that game?
Well, we're gonna enjoy tonight. I've been around the game long enough to know that wins like this don't happen often, so we're gonna enjoy tonight. Maybe half of tomorrow, and then we'll start reshifting our focus.
All right, thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck to you. Chardon victorious, as I said, 34-15. Play the winner of your game. Back to you guys.
All right, Will Hewitt, we appreciate that. Mitch Hewitt, congratulations. Excellent job with the Chardon program. And Michael Reghi, Ryan Cavanaugh, and Amanda Turk here at Hudson Memorial Stadium. And, yeah, the very potent and powerful run game beat the sometimes high wire act of the pass game tonight. But, you know, Ryan, again, I think with the way they play defense and the way they could keep the football away from the opposition, Aurora could be primed for a long run here in the state of November in Division II.
Well, in Ohio especially, you know how the weather gets, and this team is built to play in inclement weather, be it snow, rain, what have you. But with the big guys up front and their big defensive guys, especially Quinn and Smerzak, this is a team built to make a deep playoff run. I think you're absolutely correct about that.
All right, Ryan, and so we see it's, as you mentioned it earlier on, this if you like the ground game but in different styles of it, Chardon and Aurora is for you next Friday night in the regional final of D2.
Well, Coach Hewitt had an excellent run himself as a former Chardon player, and now he's leading them regional final. Two teams matching up different ways. We'll have TJ Beninati, George Bolus, two quarterbacks. Going to be a terrific matchup next Friday.
Continuance of what's turning out to be possibly magical years for Chardon and Aurora. Ryan Cavanaugh, great job, man.
Thank you very much,
Good stuff. Special thanks tonight to both of the athletic departments at Aurora and Kent Roosevelt, and to both coaching staffs for all of their access as they provided to Ryan and yours truly this week. That's going to do it now for Ryan Cavanaugh and Amanda Turk, our producer Gene Winters, and our director John Scrata, Mike Pocht, who handled all the numbers of the truck, Jeff Gears, all of our terrific crew. I'm Michael Reghi. Hope you enjoyed it, everybody. Aurora with a 27-13 win over Kent Roosevelt. So long.